Hey everybody. Oh, that's the wrong button. I only had 8 minutes to prepare for pushing the right button during the countdown, and of course, I blew it. I blew it. But welcome everybody. It is the end of the month, so once again, I am going to be talking about a whole bunch of games that Jen and I played throughout the month. And some other folks will talk about games they played as well. Oh, and I totally forgot. Man, what was I thinking? Normally when I do this, because Rel's not here for me to chat with, I have like a game to unbox. Oh, I didn't even think of that. And now we're going live. Let me say hello to everybody first, and then I'll run next door and see if I've got anything still in shrink that's worth opening. So, hello, Feldfan. Hello, Jack. Hello, Duck of Death. Hello, Bing. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Flashburn. And, I'm sure plenty about, Cassandra. Thank you for resubscribing, Cassandra. Oh, and not that you're here, but thanks for subscribing yesterday. Ferbs, wherever you may be at the moment, maybe you'll show up. And look at that. The avatars aren't dancing again. It was working, and now they've stopped working again. Thank you, Soft and Razor, for subscribing and for testing and confirming that the stream avatars, once again, do not care if any of you come or go. They should have done a little happy dance. But, well, I'll worry about that later, because we are live now. Hold on a second. Let's see. Where is my hold on? I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a game to unbox, right? Okay, hold on. Oh, I'm so unprepared. I'm back. And I've got some games. So, hey, look, these are all still in shrink wrap. I can unbox any of them. Well, actually, no, this one's not, because this is a prototype for a game that's going to be coming on crowdfunding at some point. And I just figured, what the heck, I grabbed that too. So I need to make a quick poll for y'all. Which one of these do you want me to unbox while we're waiting for folks to show up? Because I really shouldn't start on the dot. Let's see. So that's a new bowl. What to unboxify? Glory Island, Shinkansen, Switch and Signal, Hacktivity, and Winter Kingdom. Boom. Let me know what you think. Okay. Winter Kingdom, of course, is the oldest one of these, and there's an odd story behind that. I got Winter Kingdom a while ago. Jen and I played it, thought it was really good, but ultimately decided we just like Kingdom Builder better because it just works better for 2 players. And so I ended up getting rid of it. But then, by hook or by crook, somehow it has worked its way up to the top of the Rahdo Request Geek List. And so I'm going to be filming it. I'm going to do a run-through for it in April. And so I had to go and buy a new copy. I got, and this one I had to buy myself. It was not sent in as a review copy. I mean, because when I got it originally, it was a review copy from, Queen Games. And I ended up covering it in the roundup. But apparently that was not enough for fans of wintry, frosty kingdoms. So I will be covering it soon. All right. And, Let me get this around over here, just a little more comfortable. How's everybody doing? Ugh. Just going to say, is Thursday a good day for these? But it doesn't really matter what day it is, because I just do this the final day of the month, so that when it goes on Kickstarter, it'll be on the big day. Hello, McFly from Germany. Switch and Signal is a great co-op. Yes, probably of all of these, Switch and Signal is the one I'm really excited about Shinkansen too. Shinkansen Zero Kai, since it's from the designers of Red Cathedral. Glory Island, I have to admit, I don't really know much about this. Rio Grande Games sent it along with the new Dominion expansion, which is what I was really jonesing to cover. And they said, hey, why don't you try Glory Island 2? And I took a quick look and I thought, yeah, that could be pretty fun. Let's give it a go. I do know the designer, R. Fuller, I don't remember what, but he has done something else that I did like. Oh, Monasterium. That's right. This is the follow-up to Monasterium. I think. I could be wrong about that. But Hacktivity, of course. Oh, wait, but it doesn't really matter. It is done. Switch and Signal is the winner. And with Winter Kingdom, wow, what is with all this Winter Kingdom love? All right, well, that's number 2. So, and then Glory Island. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hacktivity is number 2. All right. Now, bear in mind, this is, I have not looked at it. It just showed up a couple days ago, and I put it on the shelf. But, all right, so, bye, Glory Island. No glory for you. And Zero Kai, zero love. And, all right, what was the other ones? And, all right. Oh, Winter Kingdom. Almost. You almost made it. What is with the love for Winter Kingdom? I mean, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. It's just Kingdom Builder is better. And I just didn't see the reason to own both. For our experience, as a 2-player game, Winter Kingdom is just, the board is so huge. And they didn't do really anything to scale it down for 2 players. That was kind of my bugaboo on that. But anyway, boop, bye-bye to you folks. Put you off to the side. Let's open some Switch and Signal, which is my overhead camera. Oh, why is it way over there? That's not right. Come on over here, overhead camera. There we go. Switch and Signal. Now, so the cool thing about this is a train route building game, but it's a cooperative train route building game. You begin the game controlling just a few trains on the tracks, and it's easy to make them travel where you like. As more trains arrive, you have to plan and coordinate your train schedules. Is the signal green? Where's this train going? Oh no, the switch wasn't set. If your train heads off in the wrong direction, your goods won't arrive in time. Only by working together to schedule and move your trains effectively will you and your team of conductors be able to win the game. That actually sounds really cool. That does not sound like your normal, Age of Steam inspired train game with all this talk about switch signals and them going off in the wrong direction. That's very cool. So here's some clocks. Oh, I like it when a game cares about time. Okay, these punch very smoothly. Apparently these are some busted lines, and these, I can't quite make out what those are. What number 7 is. Can you folks tell? I don't know. But here's the board itself, the pièce de résistance. All right, and it's Nuremberg. Oh, first train to Nuremberg. Everybody remember that one? Oh, that was a good game. Amsterdam, Berlin. Right, so it looks like these are in. Oh, okay, so these must be cities, and they must be at the end of the line. And what do the tracks look like? Where are the tracks? Are the tracks just already built? I don't see any. I was assuming there'd be little sticks of wood to represent the tracks. But I think, wow, is this a game where all the line is already built from the get-go? I am definitely much more interested in this now. Look at this. So there's this switch setting card. So this shows how switches can be moved when playing an action card. That is getting to be very intriguing. I have to admit, I was only interested in this because, it's a co-op train game. But I just assumed it would be like, it'd be playing Age of Steam co-op. But this seems very, very different. I am much more intrigued by this now. I wonder how it's doing on the vote. Because, let's see. Let's go on ahead and take a quick looky-loo at that. Every month, backers of the show on Patreon, they actually get to vote on what I'm going to cover. And the voting is still going on even now as we speak. Let's see. How is it doing? Oh, no. All right, let me go over to the browser view. There we go. So far, for the month of April, Concordia Solitaria, which surprised me. But, that's right, yeah, Rio Grande also sent a copy of Concordia Solitaria. So I'll be doing a co-op run-through of that, it looks like, unless they're... Priscilla, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome back. It's good to see you. You're one of my favorites. Right, so Concordia is currently winning, and then Maracaibo the Uprising, no surprise there. Three Sisters, Shinkansen Zero Kai, and Switch and Signal comes in at 17, almost 1,800. So, man, seeing this now, though, this looks so cool, but it did not get the vote, so it will not get covered in April. Glory Island down here, what's at the bottom of the list? Poor, sad Nirvana, every month, negative 129 points. People don't want to see it that much, that they are downvoting it that much. Wow. All right, well, so it looks like maybe, folks, this is all you're going to get to see of Oh, let's go back to the overhead. Switch and signal, because it did not get the votes. Let's see. It looks like we have goods cubes. And, okay, so these discs are the switches. Okay, I see. And they probably indicate whether a line is active or not. That seems pretty cool, I gotta say. And then it looks like the last thing, there's some dice. Just look like little regular wooden dice. There are some trains. These seem a little not... No, oh, look at these. These are fancy. These are nice. All right, looks like there's 2 per player. But there's 3 gray ones. Oh, no, there's 3 black ones. Oh, no, there's 3 of each color. Okay, so I don't know if these are goods types. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the detail of those trains. So, those are cool looking. A bit above and beyond the normal wooden trains we've grown accustomed to over the years. And then the last bit, there's a brick O cards. Let's see if I can get it open with my completely non-existent thumbnail. I did it. Alrighty. Off to the side you go. What have we... Oh! Alright, so... We've got... Okay, these are obviously manipulating switches, it would appear. And, I don't know. Making the trains move, it would look like. And what else? A whole bunch of those. And then it looks like... I don't know, are those for an automated player, perhaps? Indicating how the trains will move outside of player control, maybe? Totally guessing. Again, if I'd been thinking ahead of time, I would have spent the time actually preparing. And then, wow, there's not very many cards. And then there's this. Yeah, I figured that wouldn't show up on the green screen. Boop. It's a green light go. Turn the switch live. There's like 50 bajillion of this green card. And then 50 bajillion of this, I guess, manipulate the switch card. And then there's a bunch of these. I'm assuming from that it's make any train you want go. And then there's just a handful of these that have various combinations of trains moving in different ways. So that's what you got for cards. All right. And I think that's it. Anything else in the box? Nope. So back it all goes in. And our first unboxing is done. I don't remember who. Somebody in the chat said that they've actually... Or said that it's a really great cooperative game. Have you said anything more? Mystery chatter? Which if I were just to scroll back, I could see exactly who it was. But yeah, oh man. Now I'm bummed that you folks, or not you folks, the Patreon backers of the show, did not vote for it because, wow, that looks really, really, really cool. All right, so let's look at the other one. And number 2 you voted for, Hacktivity. Now this is a prototype, so it's not shrink wrapped. I have not looked at this yet. I remember Ruel and I talked about this a million years ago on an R&R episode. I think when I first saw this and read about it as an upcoming Kickstarter campaign. So we've got some basic rules. I mean, it's amazing to me. I mean, I've been doing Kickstarter previews for a long time, and these days they often come, they're indistinguishable from the final product. This has a weird printing feel. It's not glossy or whatnot, but, I mean, man, I always appreciate it. It makes my life easier to read when the rules are that finalized. Oh, we got 2 scenarios. Apparently my thing comes with 2 scenarios. Oh, and then some lock stuff. Because scenario 4, scenario 5, scenario 6... I'm not ready for those scenarios. Ooh, what's this? What's this? There's something in the air. What's this? All right. This is a piece of plastic that is literally bolted to this board. It comes pre-bolted. Oh, no, actually, I could pop it out if I wanted to. Obviously, this is just to hold the pieces in. I don't know if this is representative of some kind of deluxeification for the game. Oh, and then the foreign language. French. Oh, and then another one. Look at these. I bet you anything, this must be... I mean, they must have sent this so that I'd be able to demonstrate what their deluxe thing is, and that, it'll just be stuff directly lying on the board for regular players. I don't know, though. Those are really cool. And it's really neat how they're just literally, directly, I mean, they're not going anywhere. Pop, 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 pop. I mean, you can see. But again, everything you're seeing here is prototype, folks. I don't have any idea what the real thing's going to look like. And then there are a bunch of cards, and just some standard... cubes to obviously, these are transparent plastic cubes and some transparent plastic hexagons, obviously, that sit in those transparent plastic progress cube holder thingies. All right, and then we got some cards. Some cards. What do we got here? All right, let's see. I'm assume this is probably, since it's all together in its own bag, probably for one of the scenarios. Now, I'm just throwing these at you really fast. I don't know what any of this means. Really, all you're getting is a sense for the art, I guess, of this prototype. But even if I did know, I probably... Oh, hey! I think I was showing you the wrong side. Here's some actual game side stuff. I was just showing you the back of the cards. Thought that was a little repetitive, all those cards. I'm trying to remember what... Oh, and then... Well, what are those mysterious things? Anyway, what was it that got me into this game? Oh, I dimly recall that it is a deck builder, but let's see if I can get it from the rules. It's a deck builder, but, there's like these common decks. Or no. What was it? Oh, yeah. No, there's common decks that are good, that are full of good events and bad events. This is a cooperative game. And when you set it up, you set up the deck of good events and bad events. And at the start of your turn, you're going to draw a certain number of cards. And you can choose where you want to draw them from. If you want to draw all the really bad, terrible things that we have to cooperatively overcome, or the good things that'll make our lives easier. And so that's like the central tension of the game. Deciding, okay, are we, as a group, prepared for me to like draw 3 really horrible, terrible events? Or should we take it easy on ourselves? But we have to ultimately clear out both decks, if I recall correctly. Something like that. I remember thinking, wow, that sounds really cool. I can't wait to give it a try. And I still can't wait to give it a try. That's Hacktivity. Look at that, folks. Right. So, we've killed some time. People are starting to show up, I think, which means I can get to work, what I'm actually here to do. Out of the way, camera. Bye-bye. Let's see how everybody is doing. I think I heard some events while I was doing all that. Fidelia, thanks for the resub. Priscilla, again, thank you. And, and thanks to everybody who's following. How are we doing? Wow, only 5 more people, only 5 more subscribers to unlock a new RVR, which I'm sure when we get to April, and a lot of people everybody subscribes only for a month, and everybody has to manually resubscribe unless they commit for 3 months or 6 months or whatever. So I imagine we will definitely have to get some time, me and Ruel, to do an RVR. And Rainer, thank you very much for subscribing. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, Rainer. Founders of Table.com is so good. You tell Philip. I mean, I don't know. I assume Philip saw my video. I think I just put it up live this morning. Wow. Congratulations. Just another banger on your guys' hands. Fantastic. Board and dice. You are, you're top, top of the class these days. Okay. Did I miss any other big events? Oh, Goblin981, thank you for resubscribing. Soften Your Razor, thank you for resubscribing. Cassandra, thank you for resubscribing. All right. And somebody else. And oh my gosh, whoever just did that, Kezardrix, you just started a hype train. Look, the train comes into town. And actually, I made the train a little bit bigger because it was too tiny before. So, for the remainder of the time that this hype train is open, apparently if you subscribe or gift subscribe or give bits, basically if you throw money into the coffer, you will end up riding around on the train, or your logo will, or something like that. I guess the main reason really to build a hype train is for the rest of this stream, you will unlock unique emotes that you normally don't have access to, so you can express yourself and your feelings about however I ranked whatever it was we played this month. So that's all going on. Thank you for the support so far, folks. Just so close to the RVR. Normally, it's not till a week or 2 into the month, so we are definitely getting ahead. And we're also so close to another top 10. Just a few more followers there. Priscilla, thank you for cheering, Priscilla. I'm curious, did that put you on the train? Because I'm still not... Yep, there you are. Nope, yeah, Rainer's on the train. Fidelia's on the train. Okay, Priscilla, why aren't you on the train? You should be totally on the train. I wonder if there's a certain threshold. I have to admit, or there is an empty box. Priscilla, do you just not have a unique icon? Maybe that's what it is. I really don't know. Maybe you are the mysterious empty seat, or between Fidelia and Kezardrix. But I mean, the reality is, this is a little what do you call it? Just a freebie plugin that I found somewhere. It doesn't really get a lot of support, so it might be a bit buggy too. The main reason I have it is so it was the only way I could find any plugin for live streaming that would make an event sound when a hype train starts, and I wanted to be able to hear it when it first comes out. It goes toot toot, and that's why it's here. Wesseloid, thank you for subscribing 3 months, and Wesseloid gets a seat. Oh man, what is going on, Priscilla? That is totally unfair, but even if the train doesn't appreciate you, I certainly do. Thank you. And you're cheering again. Okay, there you are. Although, interestingly, you've got my face, Priscilla. You are in the front seat with my logo. Wow. Okay. That just means I've joined you in the front seat. We're sitting first class in that train while everybody's outside jumping up and down wishing they could get on the train. You and me, Priscilla, to the end of the line. Again, I'm sure you have your own. But okay. So it kind of works. It's kind of a weird little glitchy train. It's cute though. All right. So the train is going. That's great. Now let me confirm that I've got all my stuff set up. Thanks for the sub. Olven Skull, congratulations. Oh, look at that train. It's getting bigger by the second. I think this is the first time trains come out that people are really using it. Oh, so that's interesting. So you immediately went into that empty space that got created when Priscilla did something. That's so strange. Oh, and look, the avatars are responding to a follow, but they didn't respond. I don't know. One more, says Priscilla. Oh, you want a whole nother train. There we go, Little Buster in the front seat. Little Buster, is that your icon? I don't think your icon is like this. Oh, by the way, Little Buster, I'm so sorry. I have every intention of circling back around on the 2 outstanding things that I've said I will do with you. They're both sitting in my email inbox, and I will. I thought I was going to be able to make time in March with Jen's Ukrainian drive. That just completely gobbled up all our spare time. I'm hoping in April we will be able to make time to do you know what and the other you know what as well. And thank you for your patience. Okay, cool. Oh, Drake from Patreon. Hello, Olvinsky. Yes, Drake, I know you. You are, it's like you're, Drake, folks, is a background Patreon, so he gets to see videos, usually a week or two before they go live. And every time I post one, within an hour, Drake is there saying, "Oh, well, by the way, you kind of missed this up." And I was wondering, are you jonesing for Paulo's job? I do always forward those on to Paulo, so you are making his life a little bit easier by finding a couple of goofs, because there's always plenty to go around. Thank you, Drake, for the support, and thank you, everybody, for the support. Look at this train. It's a monster train. It's a runaway train. It's a hype train. Things are going pretty well. But I need to get to work now because then, as soon as I'm done with this, we've got other stuff we need to do. So, right, I'm going to go back to checking to make sure. Alrighty, so I've got the browser queued up. All right, but I don't need that anymore. Hold on a second. I was just messing around with things. Right, there we go. So is the browser working? Yes. When I get going, I'm going to do... Jen has closed down her... she did her final report today for the money she raised for Ukraine. Over $10,000. Over 350 of these little witwat that she ended up making. So I just grabbed this video so I'd be able to talk about it when we actually start recording the real show. I'm so proud of her. It's just so amazing. Neither of us... we generally donate to charity, or somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000 a year. We have for most of our lives, depending on what our financial situation was. But this nothing, compares to all the outpouring of support from everybody. It's just been absolutely amazing. So anyway, so the browser is queued up, ready to go. And oh man, folks, I am really risking everything today. I'm experimenting with a new way to film these. Where thank you, Force of Glass. Yes, they are amazing. That was just a small little tidbit of all the ones Jen has made. There are so many of them, no two alike. There were a couple times she was saying, maybe I could start assembly lining a few of these and just kind of like repeating the same motifs. And then she would sit down and the flame would just take wherever it would go, and it ended up they were all unique, no matter who you are, no matter how many you ordered. And that was a lot. That was a lot. And she's still not done yet. Oh my goodness. Anyway, though. So, right. I should actually check the chat, make sure I'm not missing. Yes, Wesseloid, very good point. There are, while Jen has stopped bringing them in, there are 4 more that are on the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund, which you can get to. Oh, I should have a prepare for that. Let's do that. http://jv.rahdo.com. Save. Yes, I will have that ready to put on the screen when I start recording for real, because there are still 4 of them, a set of 4 that she designed to work well together, plus 4 copies of the Rahdo Everdell cards, and I think the bid is up to $300. The way that's working is people are donating at the Jack Vassal. Well, I'll talk about this in the show. don't need to talk about it right now. But yeah, that'll be, I think, the last chance for a while to get these little critters. Okay. Let's see. Did anything else? Oh, wait a minute. What happened? Is 100 or 100,024. Hello, IS. Thank you for subscribing. Oh my gosh, did we do it? Yes, we did. I need to come up with some kind of alarm that will make crazy things happen. But let's just say, yay, we did it. Look at that. Oh, gold star to everybody for putting us over the top. And let's have some good vibes too. Yay. We have unlocked an RVR before the month was over. I think that might be the first time that has happened. Yahoo. So that's all very, very good. Thanks, everybody who contributed to that. So Ruel and I, now, we need to start figuring out what are we going to play, ideally with all of you in the month of April, because we got, and then next time this will be reset. You can still subscribe now, folks. If you subscribe, this won't fill up anymore, but I do keep track, and those subscribes will, well, you know what, heck with it. Why wait? Let's just do it right now. I'm just going to fix that right now. Streamlabs, right? I got to go to my dashboard. I had not intended to reset this live. I've never messed with this live. Hopefully this won't blow up in my face. It shouldn't. It should be fine. Right. So what do I need here? I need, not you. No, not alert box. I need widgets. And I need, what is that? That is the subscriber goal, right? Subscriber goal, sub goal. So, yeah, I need to basically copy that. I need to end the goal. I need to add a new one. We have 0 at the moment, and we have until the year 2030 to complete it. And the count begins again. I'm doing all kinds of stuff live that I've never done before. And so far, nothing's blown. Anyway, so I was saying, I'm doing a crazy experiment today. I have opened up all 20 or so games that I'm going to be talking about today in tabs in Chrome, and they're all running at the same time. This will make it very, very easy for me just to switch between things as I go. It is not insignificant system resource hog. I remember Ruel tried this once, and it blew up on him live while we were filming. So, but I've got a strong machine. It should be fine. So wish me luck, everybody. That's a triple finger crossed, and then the fingers crossing are crossed that nothing will blow up in my face. Oh, Wesleloid, yes, very good. Spreading the word. Yeah, it's 300. You'll get 4 Witwat. You'll get 4 sets of Everdell cards, and the 300 you bid will actually go to the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund, which helps gamers in need all over the place. And then whatever that auction ultimately gets, Jen and I will match that bid to go to care.org. So really, you're doubling your investment there, or your goodwill spreading. So check it out. Again, let me put it back on the screen. Boop. There we go. That's there's a link to it right there. Although Wesleloid, I believe, put the link in the show notes as well, or not the show notes, in the chat. Alrighty. Oh my goodness, so much stuff going on. Without Ruel to help me keep track of things, I'm falling apart. All right, you move over there. Yes, Priscilla, thank you. Good luck indeed. I am terrified of it. Yeah, look, you do have a unique icon. Why didn't your gigantic glasses show up in the train? You must have dropped them, and so you were looking from down the floor, and that's why. And then I grabbed your seat, apparently, the second time you did it. Crazily. Choo-choo. Right. Oh, is the train left station? Well, thank you, folks, for the support. Oh, Priscilla, going to Hawaii? I have heard it is tough to go to Hawaii now, isn't it? That they have really, really extreme restrictions and testing and whatnot that you have to go to because they're trying to keep things under control. If, in fact, that's the case, good luck getting there. Or maybe that's what somebody else was saying good luck to, not to me. Or maybe, no, I think you were saying good luck. Right, what else? All right, there has been a lot of chitty chat stuff going on, and I just don't have time to look through it all now. But folks, if while you're watching the show that I'm about to film, if you have any questions, Start your post, your comment, with a question mark, because that will put it into a special queue so that when I'm done filming the show, I'll be able to see, oh, look, here's all the questions that came in, and I'll just be able to boom, 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 put them on screen and answer them one at a time, and I won't have a hard time, finding them amongst all of the colorful chitty chat stuff. So start your questions for me with a question mark. You can end with a question mark too, but that's not necessary. If you do that, it'll go in the queue, and after we are done with the roundup recording, if you had any questions, well, I will do my best to answer them. Okay. All right, so. Oh, but hold on a second. My phone is ringing. Of course it is. Hold on. Hello?
Yes, the dog food. The Sundays dog food.
Yeah, you're low?
Orders millions of.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Okay, well, I'm down.
Okie doke. I will get one down there this afternoon. I'm actually filming live right now. Yep. No problem. I'll get it down there this afternoon. I promise. All right. Alrighty, bye. Okay. Oh, right. Am I going to forget that? That was an important task I just gave myself. I'm going to email myself right now so I do not forget to do that. Since I just promised in front of all of you, so you can all hold me accountable. Alrighty, to myself. Alright, send. My inbox is basically my to-do list. I've said in the past I don't have a to-do list. I don't really have a traditional to-do list. I'm getting better about just sending emails to myself to do things. But then, when you get a huge influx of 50 emails in a day or 100 emails in a day, it's not a perfect system, but it's something. Okay. Okay, so we are ready to go, I think. And I see people are starting to use the question mark thing, so some questions are queuing up there, which we'll get to at the end. So if all goes well, fingers crossed again, I will just be able to... Wait a minute. Oh, let me make sure the browser's still open. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. I've got those queued up. Let me take that off of the banner for a little bit, and I'll talk about it when I start. All right, so it's going to be, hey, everybody. Oh, shoot. This show is sponsored by Fun Again Games. I got to set that up. Oh, I am not ready for prime time at all. Let's see here. I think I probably still have it set up from, yeah, there we go. Okay, so, hey everybody, this week's episode, no, not the R&R. Hey everybody, the March 2022 Roundup is brought to you by Fun Again Games. And hello, how are you doing? Jen's awesome. Go to Jack Vessel, blah, blah. Kim is on this channel now. She's doing great stuff. So, new things are happening. But before we get to that, let's start with Shay talking about some games. Shay, take it away, and then he'll start. And then I go over to the browser, but by that point, I will not have this. I will have had that on screen when I was talking about Jen. Instead, I will have his first game. Let's make sure he is set up.
Hey, folks. So I actually played a ton of games this month.
Can you hear him, folks? I believe you could be able to hear Shay there. And then, after he's done talking through his stuff, I then go to me, and then we talk about stuff Ryan did and the stuff Kim did, and then we go to me. Okay, cool. And I see loud and clear. Oh, hey, Kabuki, Bing, Death, Duck, Forrest. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Then, I believe I have all of my ducks in a row, and I am prepared. So I will warn everybody. Normally I think, I don't see Fem Sensei here today. She must have had important things to do. That's cool. Normally she's the one to tell everybody if there's a raid halfway through. Rahdo can't respond to the raid right now. He's recording live. But I'm sure you all know the drill. But there it is on the screen as well. Okay, one last sippy sip. Thank you, Bing. Yes, of course, we cannot go into battle without all of you battling first. Battle Royale. Boom. Let's see. Let the blood sport begin. Where is that? There they are. Okay. I just need to get you out of the way for a little bit. Okay. And we're off. And, Kabuki, you are no longer the star holder. Rian is the star holder right now. And Rian is surrounded, getting hit by Exacting Vampire. And Ruel is chasing after Rian too. Rian and Goblin go head to head. But Rian is untouchable, seeing as how Rian is currently the star-catching king. Or queen. And Rian is just spreading all the lightsaber love around. A green lightsaber, so you know Rian is a good Jedi, not a bad Jedi. Wow, Rian is unstoppable. Until ran afoul of Wesseloid, who had a Koopa shell on their back. And alright, so how's it going now? Scott O'Brien making the run for the health pack. If he gets it, and he does. So he's coming. Nobody can see him coming. Priscilla, turn around. You're surrounded by Little Buster Jack. But Scott O'Brien is the big killer. Scott O'Brien takes out Little Buster. Kaboom. Scott O'Brien. Or no, and it's down to Jack and Scott. All right. No health packs. What the heck? Jack. Wow. Where did that come from? Jeepers creepers. I get it's the power of the elephant snout. Did it? Hand to hand. Took on all those big swords. Yes, the Jack attack. Well done. Very cool. All right. Well, that was very good. And enjoy your 100 avatar coins. You can now afford to buy yourself a hat, since you were basically running around naked with your proboscis just flopping all over the place. Okay. So, all right, so that's very important. Cannot have the show without getting that done first. So, ready to go. I am ready to go. So, thanks for showing up, everybody. McFly. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Is this normal? Says McFly. There is nothing normal about this show. Welcome to the party. It's as close to normal as things get around here. Innuendo much? What? I don't know what you're referring to, Kabuki. This is a clean show for families. How dare you? How dare you imply such a thing? Anyway, okay, let me get going. First time here. Welcome, McFly. I do a YouTube show where I talk about board games. 6 months ago, I started doing stuff on Twitch, and now every month I film some of my YouTube shows live for an audience to watch. And I do a little bit of chitty chat with the audience at the beginning and end, but this is a job I would have done today anyway, just by myself. And instead, I'm just streaming live, me doing my normal monthly roundup show. That's what's going on here. JR the Truth, another first timer, wonders, what did I just witness? Stick around, there's plenty more of that kind of silliness. These stream avatars, I love them so much. I know not everybody digs them, but to me, they're so much fun. I mean, there's hold on, let's have a little bit of fun before we go. All right, let's see. Mass. Haven't done this one for a while. So, if you're a subscriber to the channel, well, a lot of good stuff happens if you subscribe. Like, you don't have to watch ads on Twitch, and you can get discounts on Rahdo merch, and you can get access to the secret word that is like for contest winning. Some people might think one of the coolest things is if you subscribe, you get a little stream avatar. And while the show is going on, if you scroll down below the video, there's like a whole list of stuff you can do. You can dance, you can hug each other, you can challenge each other to duels, you can play slot machines, and as well, we can do like group things, like that big group attack. There's like a group basketball game we can play, which I really like. You really need to do another one. You can just send yourself you can fling yourself all over the place. Oh my gosh, Kabuki points out, it would be cool if they look like Jen's Witwats. That is a very, very true statement. I like that idea a lot, but that would be a lot of work. There's dozens of animations for all the different these these could do, but that would be very, very cool. I imagine there's probably somebody out there I could pay to do it. Maybe somewhere down the road. But for now, I love the little blockheads. They're adorable. And they've got so much customization options too. Anyway, though. As the closer to my sales pitch, in case you're like, well, yeah, but I don't want to pay $5 a month to subscribe just so I can get a cute little thing. Well, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can get all those benefits for free. Amazon Prime lets you subscribe to one Twitch channel a month. For no cost to you at all. It's just like a free bonus that most Amazon subscribers don't realize they have. And so if you do that, then you can get all those cool things not costing a cent. And therein ends the sales pitch. And now I got to get to work. So let me, one last sippy sip. My throat, in all honesty, has still not recovered from Dice Tower West in Vegas at the beginning of the month. JR Truth, thank you for subscribing. You're the first subscriber working us towards another RVR episode. And so your avatar should appear within 2 or 3 minutes. You'll just see it walking around. And again, if you scroll down, you can see what all the commands are you can do. And if you click the stream avatar link, that will open up a window that will let you do customization and whatnot. There are some customization options that are available for free. And just the longer you watch, you slowly accumulate points, or you get points if you challenge people to duels, or if you, do the slot machine thing, or if you win the big battle royales. And there's various and sundry ways that you get points for more customization. Alrighty. You folks have distracted me long enough. You are no longer here. You're all dead to me. I'm going to start filming my show now. Alrighty. So, here. Ooh. What is it? It's the March 2022 roundup. Hey, everybody. The March 2022 roundup. All right. Thank you for subscribing, McFly. Apparently I talked you into it. We have 2 subscribers for another RVR episode. Everybody dance. Look, everybody's dancing. Oh, you followed. So it worked for the follow, but not the subscribe. Okay, no, sorry. I will check all this when I do my replay later this afternoon and see if I missed anything. I got to get to work. All right, this time for sure. Hey, everybody. The March 2022 roundup is brought to you by Fun Again Games. And hello, folks. Welcome back. It is that time of the month when I sit down and tell you all about all the games my wife Jen and I played over the preceding 4 weeks. And I've got a bunch of games to talk about. But it is not just me anymore. Shay will be talking about some games, including games that he was just playing for fun that didn't even show up on the channel. But he was so passionate he wanted to talk about them. Ryan covered a bunch of new rules videos, and the newest contributor to the channel, Kim, did another run through as well. So first, you're going to hear from all the contributors, then you'll hear about Jen's and my games. But before we get to that, on the last roundup, Jen actually got on screen and sat down and talked to everybody about what she was doing to try to raise funds for the people of Ukraine, who are in the middle of a war zone right now. And she committed to 100% of her profits from a wonderful, adorable new line of game pieces she makes. Let's see if we can put them on screen. She started making these in the Ukrainian flag colors, blue and yellow. She has now gotten orders, I think. I forget. It's like over 200 orders, and she has to make over 350 of them, which is like well over a year's worth of work for her. She is working night and day, banging these out, every one of them unique, and 100% of the profits goes towards to care.org. And she just announced today that she's had to close taking more orders because she just can't take any more. She's only one woman, but she has raised over $10,000. And with matching funds, we have actually ended up donating to various Ukrainian relief causes over $20,000. And I just wanted to take a second to say thank you, everybody out there who helped. Either if you were able to buy some, or even if you just shared, to try to drum up support for it. I mean, there's just such an outpouring of love from Board Game Geekdom. It's just absolutely amazing. And before we move on, while Jen is not taking any more orders, there is still one last way to pick up 4 more of these little Witwat, and they are on auction right now on the Jack Vassal Memorial Fund auction. This is something that the Dice Tower runs every year to raise funds to help gamers in need in their darkest hour. Jen and I have been donating our time and resources for years to try to raise more funds for the Jack Vassal. And if you go follow the link at the bottom of the screen, http://jv for jackvassal.rahdo.com, you will go to my entry on the auction where you can get 4 more, the last 4 of these that Jen is going to make. She's going to make a special set, and they will go to one lucky winner of that auction. Plus, that winner will also end up getting 4 sets of the Rahdo Runs Through Everdell cards. And then you'll also get to make me run through some games that you want to see too. So definitely, if you've got the inclination, go to jv.rahdo.com, check it out. And while you're there, scroll through. There are so many amazing things there. But if you do end up bidding on ours and you end up winning, basically the money you bid will go to the Jack Vassal Fund, and we will do matching funds to care.org to get even more help to the people of Ukraine. Okay, folks, I know that was all very heavy, but we are all humans. We are all in this together. I have so many fans of the show in the Ukraine who have reached out to me, and I just want to say we are all with you. I also have a lot of friends in Russia, or fans of the show, and I know I think it's so important that I am letting all of you know that Ukraine is out there, and if you stand in opposition to your government, we are with you too. I've heard from so many folks as while I've been wearing the shirt and while Jen has been fundraising. It's just been absolutely incredible. And I think that's it. So, without further ado, folks, you want to hear a countdown about games, don't you? That's what you showed up for? Well, you're in luck. You're going to get it, and we're going to start out with Shay, my number one contributor to the channel. For now, watch out, Shay. Kim is coming up fast. And let's see what he had to play. Shay, take it away.
Hey folks, so I actually played a ton of games this month because I went to Dice Tower West. I played a lot of great stuff, and I could talk for hours about all of them, but I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'm going to pick a couple highlights from the con, and I'm going to put those into my list. But let's get started with game number 4, which is Darkest Dune. Now, this was a paid preview. This is a very dark game about, obviously it's in the name, but besides just the look of the game, the theme of the game is very, very heavy, very dark and gothic in a lot of ways. And it follows these anthropomorphic animal people who are trying to save the land of Bethel from this calamity that is coming. This actually already destroyed the world, but they've been given another chance. They've gone back in time to try and save the world, essentially. And it was a really interesting game. There's a lot of different ways you can play it. There's like 4 different possible victory conditions. It's competitive, though the theme makes it seem more cooperative than anything. It's sort of a semi-co-op, but there's only going to be one winner. And it was really a really interesting, really cool game. The only reason it's on the bottom of my list is that it was a little, it was complicated. It's a very complex game. Luckily, Ryan did a great rules video for it, but there's a lot of finicky things to it. So that tempered my excitement just a little bit, but the ideas and the scope of the game are really ambitious, and they pull it off pretty well, so I do still recommend it. Now, my number 3 game is another paid preview. This was Stellar Expedition. Now, not only did I cover that on Rahdo, I also made a rules video on my channel, RTFM, and this game is something that I've been looking for quite a while, which is a Star Trek game. Now, I know that there are games that are in the Star Trek universe, but this is a game that really feels like you're in the Star Trek world, like you are part of the Federation, because it is not about combat. This is a game about exploration, and mostly peaceful exploration at that. You just sort of go around the galaxy, you encounter new worlds, and you pop down embassies, and you invite new people into your crew, and you try to complete missions and stuff. So it's a very easygoing game. It's very light conflict. 2-player actually can get a little bit competitive, but for the most part, it's pretty low conflict and pretty, like I said, easygoing game, a nice sci-fi experience. So I really liked it for that. Now, going on to my number 2 game, this is one of the Dice Tower West games. This is Decorum. This is one of the 2 that I really want to highlight because this game is wild. So the premise is simple. It's a co-op game. You play as a group of housemates who are trying to decorate your shared living space in a way that satisfies everyone's tastes. And everyone's tastes are determined by a few cards that you get that determine like what you specifically want from rooms in the house. And so there are things like you can change the paint color, and you can put out 3 different, things that you curios or like lamps or just stuff that you'd have in your house. And there are different types and different like colors that these can be. And so you might have a rule that says, if the walls are painted red, I don't want any curios in the room or something like that. And everyone's got their own set, and they're all kept secret. So on your turn, you'll just make a change, or you'll take something out, or you put something in, or you swap something, and then everyone will sort of go around and passive-aggressively tell you how they feel about it. It's like it's a very passive-aggressive house meeting kind of thing for these roommates. And so it has this combination of hidden information, or like mostly hidden information, and a little bit of role playing, because if you really get into the spirit of it, which I did, and the group that I was playing did, you really have a lot of fun with it. I think it just came out recently. Definitely check out Decorum if you like these quirky little co-op games. But my number one is one that I think a lot of people were talking about. I believe the hype, folks. Ark Nova. It's fantastic. It's just such a great game. I mean, I love terraforming Mars, and I think this game might be better. I think it might.
Gasp.
It has a very similar feel to it, but it has a few things that are the key differences. One being the player boards. Everyone's got their own personal player board as opposed to the shared, Mars board. But also the way that actions are done, I think, is a big difference. I think it's much improved. It has a very engaging way to play. And this is taken directly from the Civilization board game, which the second Civilization board game, A New Dawn. And I've played Civilization board game. I think it's decent. I think with the expansions a lot better. I think that the action system is the best thing about it. So if you're going to lift something from that game, absolutely lift that. It's one of those things where you've got 5 different actions you can do. They're on a row below you, and you will pick one action. And the farther to the right that it is, the more powerful that action becomes. And so you want to, but then as soon as you do it, it shunts back to the one position, slides everything over. So ideally, you'd be doing all of the level 5 actions for their most powerful abilities, but that's not always what you want to do. So you have to make these complex choices. And then on top of that, there's the great engine building mechanics that are very familiar if you've played Terraforming Mars. And I don't know that Terraforming Mars will ever leave my collection. I love the theme so much, the setting of it. I personally like the space exploration a little bit more than the building a zoo ideas from Ark Nova, but oh boy, it is such a great game. So those are the games that I played that I specifically wanted to highlight this month. And now, a quick personal note, I'm not going to be in the roundup next month. I do still have some videos that are going to come out. I've been kind of spacing them out and pre-making them to prep for this, but the reason for this is that I'm actually getting married at the end of April, and so I'm taking a little bit of time off to focus on that, and then I'll be going away so you won't see me next week or next month for the roundup, but I will still have videos coming out, and then I'll be back probably for the roundup following that. But anyway, that's enough from me. I will hand it back to you, Rahdo. Bye, folks.
Bye. Shay, congratulations so much. I am so happy for your coming nuptials. And while it does mean we're not going to be seeing as much of you for a little while because you will be having, I hope, a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I'm sure folks can't get enough of you and cannot wait for you to come back. And yeah, that was a great list of games. Definitely, you don't have to limit yourself to just the games that you covered for the channel. What other hot games did you play? I'm sure that people want to know. And believe me, folks, you have not heard the last of Ark Nova and Decorum, your number 1 and 2. I might have a few things to say about them coming up later. But before we get to that, Shay is not the only member of the team that was very busy this month. Ryan Crichton of Knights Around a Table did a couple of rules runs-throughs, starting with Cellulose, which is a very, very cool new game from Genius Games. And Genius Games' things is they make fun, kind of relatively lightweight, gateway-ish, family-level Euro economic simulations that teach real, interesting, and compelling hard science. And this game is all about digging deep into plant cells and, basically educating everybody about the process of photosynthesis. And if you check out Ryan's rules run-through, it's not actual gameplay, but man, Ryan's rules run-through do such a fantastic job of encapsulating the feel of the game, and I cannot wait to give this one try myself. So Ryan covered Cellulose. He also covered what's it called? Darkest Doom, which, Shay did a run-through for it as well. So you had a nice 1-2 combo. You can watch Ryan teaching you all the rules of the game, and then you can watch Shay and see, well, he actually does. And, Shay already kind of talked about this a little this is a big monster hit on, is this on Kickstarter or GameFound? I don't remember for sure. But, big miniatures, big ideas, big expansive game, and so far it has really taken off. So Ryan will will definitely get you set with his signature, really highly polished presentation that he does with his rules videos. So you don't want to miss that. And then finally, he still wasn't done. He also covered Ryozen, which is another fundraising game that's running right now, which has this really cool tower in the center of the board that rotates and is constantly changing the state of the game. And yeah, let's see. I want to show Ryan. Yeah, there's the tower. So the tower is on a central thing that rotates around and is constantly creating new opportunities for everybody as you do all kinds of good fantasy Euro-y stuff. And yeah, it is definitely worth checking out also. So Ryan was very busy, and I think he's going to be back with some more stuff in April, so you can watch this space soon. But you know what? As much as I love all the videos that Ryan and Shay have been doing for the channel lately, what I'm really excited about these days is Kimberly Tolson of Tabletop Tolson. She covered what was it? Return to Dark Tower. This is the second video she has done on the channel. In February, she covered Seven Wonders Architects. And then as she hit Return to Dark Tower, which was a big jump up. She started with a nice little simple light family weight game. And then she got this big monster cooperative game that is, I would have had a hard time doing a run through for this. And actually, I thought it was brilliant that to be able to show the game off, she busted out a Lazy Susan so that she was able, and I thought that was so brilliant. Why haven't I been doing that forever on my videos when I have 3D objects that block the view? Kimberly is doing fantastic. If you haven't checked it out yet, I strongly recommend. I mean, she just brings such a sense of fun and enthusiasm. She might actually out-enthusiasm me, which I didn't think was actually possible. So, she is the latest. She's going to have several games. She'll be filling in for Shay in the month of April while he's off. Like I said, Shay, Kim is coming for you. And, she's just getting better with every video she does. So I am super duper excited to have Kim on the team. Okay, but that's it, folks. Those are the contributors. Now, let's talk about the games Jen and I played. A bunch of them were ones that I played not with my wife, Jen, but instead with folks at the Dice Tower West convention at the beginning of the month. And so for those I don't have video, you're just going to see pictures of that I took while I was playing. And you know what? The first one, number 18 on my list, is one of those games. It is Namiji, which is basically a sequel to Kaido from the designer, the designer of Seven Wonders, Antoine Bauza. And this is basically what would happen if Tokaido was set at sea as you're riding a ship and going on wonderful voyages, seeing wonderful sights, and doing various and sundry set collection elements, instead of Tokaido where you were just going for a walk through the countryside. So it has a strong nautical flair to it. And the gameplay is still the same. The whole board is one long time track where the farther somebody moves forward, the longer it'll take before they get to take another turn. But you sometimes want to make big jumps to grab all the most important things to you. I mean, actually, I would say this game is probably 80% Tokaido. But the 20% that is new and different, I've got to say, is a big improvement. Tokaido has always been a very, very, on the lighter end, gateway style game, and it does that great. This one, Namiji, definitely adds new, heavier gameplay elements to it that I very much appreciated. Now, at the end of the day, it comes in at the bottom of my list, not because of the gameplay, but because of the two-player scaling. Like Tokaido before, the way it works for two-player is there's a third player that players take control and just use that only to screw each other over. So what in a higher player count is actually a tense but very peaceful and live and let live style game becomes a very vicious knife fight as you're constantly trying to cut off your opponents from what they need most. And I wasn't a fan of it in Tokaido. I'm not a fan of it in Namiji. But that's really, if you're looking for a cutthroat light gateway style game for two that works wonderfully at higher player counts too and is just drop dead gorgeous, you might want to check out number 18, Namiji. Then we go on to number 17, which is Libertalia, Winds of Gale Crest. And actually, I gotta come clean. I played this and filmed this back in February, and I completely forgot to include it in the February roundup. So I am playing catch up now. Ultimately, if you went to the Dice Tower West library and you went to the hot games area where they had all the hottest stuff, there was a table devoted to this. That was my copy of the game. Because, as you might guess, coming in at number 17, it's not really a game for me and Jen, but it's so good. This is a remake of a kind of a modern classic pirate Euro game where everybody has access to the same crew of ne'er-do-wells who all have just such an incredible wide variety of special effects. And everybody is picking at the same time cards to play and reveal, trying to figure out what their opponent's going to do and outmaneuver them. So, Libertalia has always been a well-loved game, but it's been out of print forever. And this new version, I think, is superior in every way. The two-player scaling is better. It's deeper and richer. There are more cards. There's more variety to the crew. It's kind of a Marmite thing. Some people don't like the new look and would rather have classic pirates. I think the new anthropomorphized animal pirates are neat as all get out. Both my wife and I really enjoyed the new cleaner aesthetic of it. But there's no denying there's a reason this is a modern classic. There's a reason this game is going for hundreds of dollars on the used market because people were so desperate to get it. And I'm so happy it's available now in a better package than ever before. I was very impressed, but the reason it comes in low is because my wife and I are Care Bears, and even though it works great now, better than it ever has as a two-player game, it's still a little bit too cutthroat for me and Jen. There's still way too many opportunities to say, oh, it'd be a real shame if all that treasure you got over there might get stolen by me. Bye-bye, yoink. And it's great if you like that, but just not our thing. But I was so keen to try it, especially because it introduced new solo rules. And I love this game as a solo game. I almost kept it. I thought it was so much fun. I would almost say it's a better solo game than a two-player game, and it's already a very good two-player game. Now, this game is always best when you're playing with big groups of players, but solo players, definitely check out my run-through where I demonstrated how it worked as a solo game. Very, very impressive. Number 17 of the month. Last month, really, Libertalia wins of Galecrest. Then we move on to number 16, Neko Harbor, the card game. Oh my goodness. This is a wonderful, lovely, charming little engine building game where each player controls their own, what would you call it? I guess sightseeing operation. We are trying to build up a fleet of ships that can travel around to locations in the Antarctic so that people can study and watch the penguins in their natural habitat. And yeah, I mean, actually, now I think about it, the rules never say, are we actually scientists or are we tour guides? It could go either way. I like to think we're scientists studying. But the important thing is not that. The important thing is this is an engine building game where every turn you are going to play a new card to the right of this line of cards you're building. And this represents kind of like a shipping line that your ships can actually move along. And as they move along, they will activate all the different spokes of your engine. And so you're trying to play cards in the correct order so that they will most efficiently pay out for you, both when your ships that you build and invest in come into port, but also your engine runs automatically every round. So this is an engine building game where you get double use out of your engine. The whole thing runs every round, and then parts of it can run again if you can get enough fuel to have your ships visit certain parts of the engine. And then the engine does different things. And now all of this is ultimately to build up enough resources to get enough fleets of ships so you can send your ships to the islands, and then there's kind of an area control going on for dominance to see who got the most of their fleet to the various spots. And so there's brinksmanship for that. It's very well done. Everything about this game is absolutely fantastic. If you're ever the type of person who says, hey, what are unsung gems that are flying under the radar that people should really know about? Neko Harbor is it. Neko Harbor, the card game, is a brilliant, brilliant game. Both Jen and I liked it quite a bit. If you watch my final thoughts, you'll hear my only complaints are with a handful of very simple to implement, house rules, homebrew variants, you could make this game fantastic as a two-player experience. But with the rules as written, the two-player game suffers a little bit. There's not as much tension as there should be. Things are a little bit easier to do. And, I have actually gotten to play this at the full four-player count, and I liked it so much more. And honestly, I believe, if you actually go to the comments of my final thoughts video, the designer of the game said, you know what, you have some really interesting ideas, because he enjoyed seeing my final thoughts about how to two-player. And so and I don't know, maybe those things will change, and maybe Neko Harbor will raise. I mean, because if I were ranking this as a 4-player game, this would have been in my top 5 of the month. It's that good. This is one of the coolest engine building games I've played in quite a while because of the whole double engine use thing. But as a 2-player game, it just needed a few very simple tweaks to really reach its full potential. So that's why I'm rating it on the rules as written. So it comes in at number 16, Neko Harbor. Then we move on to number 15, Monasterium, which is a game that I have wanted to play for several years now. It came out, I think, in 2020, maybe 2019, from publisher DLP Games, the publisher of Orléans and quite a few other really big hit games. And I've always thought the idea of this game sounded so very, very cool. It is a dice drafting game, and there's a lot of dice drafting games out there, and dice drafting is maybe my favorite mechanism of all time. So of course I really wanted to try it. What makes this different from all the other dice drafting games out on the market is the fact that in most dice drafting games, you get a big old pool of dice, you roll them, and then players take turns grabbing whatever dice works best for them to achieve whatever their goal are. Whether you're talking, Pulsar, 2849 or Trois or whatever it is. The twist with Monasterium is you get this big pool of dice, but you divide it amongst all the players. Everybody rolls their own little pool, and then starts adding dice to the central pool. And everybody's kind of almost going through sort of a Yahtzee-ish style gameplay mechanism. Because, I roll all my dice. I've got to add some dice to the pool that we will all then have access to. And I look over at your board, and I can see that you have upgraded to your board so that every 3 that you can draft is super powerful. And I just rolled a bunch of 3s. I don't want to give you all those 3s, so am I going to put this 6 over here instead? And so players are communally creating a drafting pool that then we will all have access to. And this adds such an interesting layer on top of traditional dice drafting that I absolutely loved it. Really, really cool. Now, it comes in at the lower end for pretty much the same reason as the other games I was talking about. There's a handful of things that could have been done to tighten up the 2-player game. And if that had been done, I think it would have rated quite a bit higher. This is definitely a game that I would love to play at higher player counts. And the thing is, even though it's on the lower end of my list, I think we're going to keep this one. I think this is going to stay on the shelf for a while anyway, because I definitely want to spend more time with the absolutely lovely number 15, Monasterium. Okay, then we move on to number 14, another game I played at Dice Tower West, Chai T for 2. And now I was playing a prototype. As I understand it, this was a Kickstarter, pretty successful on Kickstarter. It's taken a while, but they are finally this year, starting to get it or get close to getting it shipped out to backers on the Kickstarter. So I played a prototype, and all I can say is, folks, believe me, it will be worth the wait. This is a 2-player only game, all about harvesting and then processing tea leaves to fulfill contracts. Chai tea leaves, I suppose, to fulfill contracts and score lots of points. Kind of typical Eurofare. So what makes this game different is it's a card game at heart. And as you're playing, you are drafting cards from the center of the table. And depending on what type of card it is, you are surrounding your board with them, putting some on the left side of your board, some on the right side of the board, some on the top, some on the bottom. And those are upgrading your production chain. Because when you get new tea, which is another thing you can draft. I should say, oh, by the way, cards are just one of the things you can draft. You're spending dice as worker placement to draft all kinds of things. One of the things you're drafting is tea that comes in at the bottom of your board, and then it will slowly work its way up your board, going through oxidation processes and switching from one type of tea to another, all kinds of stuff, to where it will ultimately get to your waiting contract cards that you've installed at the top of the board. The tricky thing is, the cards you put on the side of your board, these upgrade the stages of development. So this is kind of a harvesting goods production engine building game where there's this kind of board component where the places you put your engine pieces directly affect how effective they're going to be, because you're trying to create combo chains on the left side so that, hey, when I put I can't think of the names of the tea, a black tea down in the bottom right corner, and it starts working its way up. I want to hit this module, and then I want to switch over to the other side and hit the other module. So you can have like this really cool 1, 2, 3 thing that can multiply the output, all kinds of fun stuff. It was a very cool, puzzly little engine builder, and I played the advanced version. The base version comes with simpler rules where the production is a little bit simpler, a bit more straightforward, but I played the advanced a few times during the convention, and I kind of fell in love with it, and I really want to get a copy of this now and play it with Jen, because she is an avid tea drinker. She is an avid Euro goods conversion engine builder, and this game just ticks all our boxes. Number 14, chai, tea for 2. Okay, but we're not done yet. Let's move on to number 13, Jack. Now, this was a paid Kickstarter preview, I should say, and Jack is is actually an acronym. JAQ stands for Journey, Adventure, Quest. Those are the 3 types of cards that are available to you in this competitive fantasy action adventure card game. And what's interesting about the game is it's kind of got a fairly straightforward card draft. But the interesting thing is, as you collect more and more cards, these cards become upgrades for your existing weapons and armor and spells you can do. And I mean, you can see in the picture, if you're looking at the screen, how the cards just stack. And the more cards you put on a given weapon or your helmet or whatever, the more interesting additional attributes that item gets. Some of them good, some of them bad. I mean, you can actually get cursed items that will make your sword weaker or something like that. But that's okay, because you want it, because it'll also give you a lot of money, and you need that money to pay for the other stuff you need. So throughout the game, it is a very satisfying set collection game at its heart, because you're trying to get all these different types of cards to mix and match together. And while you're doing it, you are leveling up all of your different elements of yourself. And at the center of the board, while all this is going on, there is a big boss monster, and everything we're doing is getting ready to fight the boss monster, and the boss monster levels up the same way. As you go through 3 days, the first, second, and third day, the first boss monster you fight, its attributes stick around when you fight the second boss monster. So while you're getting progressively stronger, the bad guys are getting stronger too. And it has a really good flow, a nice, simple, clean, elegant card drafting game with very, very satisfying set collection. Just a really great presentation. Now, I'm actually going to be doing a run through for this, but it's not going to be for several months. I played this really, really early, and I'm glad I did, because Jen and I very much enjoyed it. Number 13 of the month, Jack, or Journey, Adventure, Quest. Okay, then we move on to number 12, Oh My Goods, Escape to Canyon Brook. And I've done a few videos about Oh My Goods, or Royal Goods, as it's officially called. It was originally published in German, and it was called Royal Goods. It was picked up for wider distribution, and then it was changed to Oh My Goods. I prefer Royal Goods, but Oh My Goods is fine. But it's a fun little engine building game that mixes the engine building part. Oh, I'm trying to invest in all these different elements that allow me to produce coal, produce linen, produce dairy. And the game is all about trying to get multiple cards in play that will create production chains, so that when I run the coalery and it generates coal, I'll be able to immediately pump that coal into a different production building that consumes it. And so it's all about creating but the trick is, every round you don't know if you're going to get all the fuel that you need to run all the different elements of your production chains. And so there's a push your luck element where you can kind of take, I don't want to take chances. I think I'm going to try to produce less this turn because I don't think the market is going to give me everything I need, or I can risk everything and maybe it blows up in my face and I get nothing. So the core game has always been great. But what I've really loved about Oh My Goods is its Escape to Canyon Brook is the second expansion. The first one was Revolt in Longsdale, and Escape to Canyon Brook is the second in a series that tells a narrative story. Oh My Goods is from designer Alexander Pfister, one of my favorite designers of all time, and one of the things I love most that he does does is, in a lot of his games, he comes up with narrative little miniature campaigns you can play through. Rather than having an expansion that says, look, here's all the new stuff, just throw it in, you can do that if you want, that's an option, or instead, you can play through a multi-chapter story that slowly introduces all the new things to the game you already love, and introduces new characters that then become playable cards and all kinds of stuff. And Escape to Canyon Brook is the second in a series of storytelling, and I still absolutely adore it. I've been wanting to play it forever. I finally took the chance to do it because there's another thing both of the expansions do. For Oh My Goods, they added solo mode. And I had never tried it. I finally sat down to do it, and it's great. I played through the first chapter and got my butt kicked. And then I played through it a second time, and I got my butt kicked. But I feel like I think I've got it now, and I can probably move on. There's one thing you have to know. If you're interested in Oh My Goods as a solo game, these expansions, Revolt to Longsdale and Escape to Canyon Brook, really bring the goods. It's fantastic. The only problem is, oh my God, they're hard. Jeez Louise, they're super monstrously hard, and there's nothing in the rules to be able to adjust the difficulty level. And that's kind of a cardinal sin for a co-op game, not to let players adjust the difficulty to ensure they're having fun. And so if I were rating this only as a solo experience, as good as it was kind of frustrating as well. I probably wouldn't have come in as high at number 12, but it's just great to see the story continue. Revolt at Longsdale literally ended with a cliffhanger. And so the story continues with Escape to Canyon Brook, and I was happy to get to spend some time with it. Number 12. Oh my goods. Escape to Canyon Brook. Okay, then let's move on to number 11, a very, very mega popular game, Fantasy Realms. Oh my gosh, this is such a well-loved competitive card game, all about set collection, and I totally understand I played this a bunch of times. I actually got to play it with Shay. Ruel, did I play with him as well? No, I played Oak with him, I think. Or maybe I played it with Amy of Thinker Themer. I got to play this with a bunch of people. Jeff from Dice Tower West. I didn't want to return it to the Dice Tower West library. I was having so much fun with it, and I can totally see why. There's a game I did a run through for a few months ago, Red Rising from Stonemaier Games, and they say right in the rulebook that I love Fantasy Realms so much I wanted to make a heavier, richer, more complex version of Fantasy Realms, because Fantasy Realms is a very lightweight kind of gateway style game. And when I covered Red Rising, and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I love it to pieces. A lot of people said, yeah, but you should really play Fantasy Realms more because it's cleaner, it's simpler, it's more elegant. All that is true. This is an addictive game. You play it, you're done in 10, 15 minutes, you want to play it again immediately, and all it takes is shuffling up the deck and dealing out cards. It's just fast, and everybody's engaged right to the end. The reason is because the rules are simple. On your turn, draw a card and then discard a card. You keep doing that until the game is over, and then the hand of cards you have at the end is how you score your points. And the trick is, every time you have to discard a card, you're potentially putting something on the table that other players could take that will be the game winner for them. And so you have a lot of tension. Almost kind of Lost Cities, Reiner Knizia tension. And it just works beautifully, brilliantly. Personally, I still prefer Red Rising, even though I've now spent a lot of time. And by the way, don't be fooled. The box for Fantasy Realms lies. It says it's a 3 to 7 player game, if I recall. Anyway, but the important thing is, this game has awesome 2-player rules in the rulebook. I played this as a 2-player game, and it's fantastic. This is a great 2-player game. I highly recommend it. Like I said, I still prefer Red Rising, but I really like this one a lot too. Number 11 at the show, Fantasy Realms. Okay, I'm going to take a break. My throat is on freaking fire. Oh my gosh. Let's see. And, normally I just muscle through it, but I don't have to. I can pause. All right, so let's see. How is everybody doing? Let's see here. Somebody did a sticker earlier. I'm not quite sure what it was for. Applauded me. Lothos, 8955. What were you applauding for? I mean, thank you. I will happily take the applause. I feel like I missed something that was going on. Oh yeah, you folks have been chatting for a bit, haven't you? Wes Lloyd, Out Enthusiasm Rahdo. Oh my gosh. I was just watching Kim's, her next run through is probably going to be for Final Girl. I just watched her first take of it last night, and Jeez, that woman is so effortlessly entertaining. Um, it's just so, I was so enraptured in the story she was telling. Even though Final Girl is a really simple game, I was, when you got to the end and she, I don't know if it's going to be a final, she kind of ends with a cliffhanger. I'm like, don't stop there. I kind of got treated, I often, in my videos on cliffhangers too, and now I kind of got a taste of my own medicine. Oh my gosh, she is so great. She will replace us all eventually. And she's actually an English professor, and she's on spring break right now. So right now, she has the time to be able to do a bunch of videos. She might slow down in the future when classes start again. But, oh, wow, I am so happy to have her on the team. Okay, let's see here. Anything else going on? Doesn't look like there are any big events that happened. So, I think, what was I? I was at number 11. So now I'm moving on to number 10. Oh, okay. Let's see. You know what? I'm not going to be able to gain. Let's just finish this. Cheers. Cheers to you, Dinoga. Dinoga. Cheers indeed. Clink. I agree. Alrighty. It's water. I promise it's water. Actually, the tricky thing is, if you've been watching, I normally have this a bigger like water jug. You click, it has a. That's why I always say sip because I'm always sipping stuff with a little built-in straw. I lent that to my mom the other day because her new dog Maggie has a tendency to knock over her soft drinks. She loves a cherry Coke. She loves a colorful Mountain Dew, and she'll just fill up a glass with ice and put it there, and then she goes to the bathroom and Maggie gets up and drinks it and knocks all over. It's happened dozens of frickin' times, and I keep saying, Mom, it's okay, you can just get one of these things that Maggie can't get into. And she's like, I don't know, I like my ways, and so I've given her that so she can try it out. And of course, the first thing that happened was, I wasn't there for this, but I heard the report, she was using it. She went to the bathroom, Maggie knocked it over, she came back out, she went to push the button to make the straw come up, and because it had knocked over, it was a fizzy drink, and it shook up, and she got a geyser of cherry Coke that would have made a bigger mess than probably what Maggie would have made. And so I had to, Mom, here's how you twist it open. You gotta do that. And so we'll see how that goes. But you'll know it didn't work if the next R&R if my regular bottle comes back because Mom just wanted to stick with. I mean, she's almost 75. Sometimes it's hard to teach an old lady new tricks, but she's trying. Oh, okay. Let's see here. So I am now out of water. I got 10 more to go. Let's see here. And what else is going on? Am I forgetting anything else? No, I don't think so. So let's get back to it. Go back to the browser view. Okay. Tervis makes a great sealable cup, says Bing. Well, I need to look into that, obviously. Okay. And I will definitely make a note of that tonight when I go back and I search through all the chat and see if there whatever I might have missed and so forth. Okay, so right, we just did 11 Fantasy Realms, so we're on to number 10, Through Ice and Snow. Spoiler alert, it's Through Ice and Snow is number 10. Alrighty, so. And folks, let's move on to number 10 on the list, Through Ice and Snow. Now, this is another Kickstarter preview for a game that's going to be going live very, very soon in April, and Jen and I both had a blast. This is a very compelling and maybe one of the most thematically grounded Euros I have played in quite a while. This really brings its subject matter to life in a way that few games can match. It is about charting the Northwest Passage, and the interesting thing of this game, it's competitive from a gameplay point of view, is even though we're all trying to get the most glory by making the most discoveries, setting up infrastructure for future expeditions, there's all kinds of things we can do. We are all part of the same expedition. So every choice I make affects everybody else around the table. We take turns deciding which path is the expedition going to follow. We do a lot of worker placement. And the worker placement in the game is very, very interesting because you have 3 workers that you always have. Your captain, your craftsperson, your carpenter, and your scientist. Those are your officers. And then you have enlisted crew. And if you don't take care of those enlisted crew, they will starve and die, or they will mutiny, or they will get scurvy. All kinds of things can happen. But the important thing is you can supplement your crew based on what you do over the course of the game by befriending and working with the native peoples of the land, the Inuit tribes that are available. And let me just say, folks, I have never seen a publisher do a better job at involving the people who they are making a game about. I was talking to the developers of Red Tomatoes. They're working with Canadian National Museum. They are working with tribal elders of the Inuit tribes that still live in these areas. They are paying for the consultation from the folks. And this is, I think, by far the biggest shining star for how board games can be at once more inclusive and more rich and deep when you spend the time to actually do a little bit more research than just checking out a Wikipedia article about your subject matter. And I'm absolutely blown away by it. Now, all that aside, it's a very, very compelling game too, and it's very tense because not everybody will make it to the end. You will have mutinies. You will have starvation. You will be constantly facing the threat of running out of resources and having to deal with decisions your fellow expedition members make that can make things even harder for you to try to get out of the hole you find yourself in. And it's a beautiful game, and it is a tension-filled game, and it's an incredibly thematic game. And I'm really impressed by number 10, Through Ice and Snow. Then we move on to number 9, another game from the convention, Dice Miners. And now this one, I have to say a big thank you to my co-host on the R&R show, Ruel Gaviola. He brought his own personal copy to the convention, and he carried it with him everywhere. And if you ever ran into him and said, someday I'd like to play a game with you, he'll say, okay, let's just grab a table right now and play Dice Miners. He must have played, I don't know how many times. I played it with him 2 or 3 times back to back, and I fell in love with it. I really, really dig this dice drafting game where we are all dwarves trying to, be very successful, dig deeper, to protect our minds from dragons, and do all kinds of typical dwarvy stuff, find treasure, and it all works off of a very, very cool draft mountain where you have a stack of dice and you can only take dice from the top, and as you do that you reveal dice below that your opponents will be able to grab. Think of the card drafting in Seven Wonders Duel, right? Where you've got that pyramid, and the more things you take, the more you reveal for your opponents. You're like, I don't want to reveal that for you. But the beautiful thing about this game is dwarves love beer. And the use of beer, if you get beer dice, well, not only do you share it with your opponents, which is a cool idea in itself, but it lets you dig deeper into the mountain so you don't have to be stuck with what's on the top. And you can pull off some very, very cool and surprising combo moves as well. Plus, everybody has, their own unique special power depending on which dwarf they are. Yeah, I mean, this game is, I can totally see why it has been such a phenomenon and so many people are talking about it. Man, I really want to get a copy of myself and do a full run through. But, and I'd love to play it with Jen too, because I think she'd love it also. And I pretty much played it at a higher player count. I would definitely like to play it as a 2-player game too, to see how well it holds up. But, viewed as a fast, super duper filler, fun game. I mean, the fun is just off the charts with this one. It comes in at number 9, Dice Miners. But we are not done yet, folks. Let's move on to number 8, the Paradox Initiative, which is another Kickstarter preview, the paid Kickstarter preview that will be coming in April. Jen and I played this month. And actually, I should say, Jen and I played this years ago, over half a decade ago. Paradox came out, and I, at the time, thought it was an absolutely brilliant, what would you call it, Bejeweled style game, because the main portion of the game is you've got what's called the paradox matrix, full of paradox particles, and every turn you are going to be able to flip 1 or 2 or 3, depending on the situation you're in, of these little particles and try to create complete rows and columns of matching colors. And if you can do that, you can collect those particles and use them to act as resources to be able to score cards. And the other half of the game is this card draft, where cards come and go fast. This is not one of those drafting games where, how sometimes the drafting games, man, will this market ever clear out? I'm so sick of looking at this card, nobody wants it. In this game, there are 6, 7, 8, or 9 cards every round that just disappear. You are burning through these cards super fast because they're only available through an unstable wormhole in space. So if you see a card you want to grab because it's part of a really strong set collection you're going for, you better grab it quick. So the tension for drafting is high. But then once you've got the card, you, depending on whether it is a card where you are studying the past, the present, or the future, because this is a game all about using the paradox particles to manipulate the time stream, you have more or less time to gather the resources out of your matrix to be able to score the cards. And if you don't score them in time, you end up losing those cards anyway. So you are under an incredible amount of tension, both in the draft and in the fulfillment. And all of it is driven by a very fun, satisfying, little Bejeweled-like puzzle that exists in parallel to the game. And so, really liked it a lot. Liked it a lot half a decade ago, like it even better now. There's additional things like switches that have been introduced, special powers that weren't in the original game. Really impressive. But what's maybe even more impressive is the lineup of artists they've got working on this game. I would imagine anybody who loves board games and has a list of their 5 favorite artists, chances are at least one of your 5 favorite artists worked on this game. There has never been an accumulation of top-tier, cream-of-the-crop artists working all on one game that I've ever seen, and this game was a joy to play, but it's also a joy to look at. And that's what brings it in at number 8, the Paradox Initiative. But we are not done yet, folks. Let's move on to number 7, Decorum. I said it would be back, and it is back. I agree with everything Shay said. This game is a delight. I'm planning on trying to do a run-through on it in April so you can see firsthand. But why I love it is because it is a cooperative game of imperfect communication. That's one of my favorite things, where we're all working towards a common goal, but we can't just say, oh, this is what I need. If you could all, and so we have to try to intuit from what we see our teammates do. Oh, I see. Maybe you need this. And then I do an experiment. Oh, no, you hated that too? All right, well, man, I don't know what to do. But meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out what you've got going on. I'm trying to figure out what I need as well. And it's very thematic because it's all about housemates, trying to decorate a house, fulfilling everybody's needs, and it's very satisfying when you pull off the win. And but the rules are so clean and simple. It's so fast playing. And the first time Jen and I played this, it was literally just a few days ago, because I was getting ready for the R&R show, and this was going to be on the table. I'd already played it at Dice Tower West with some strangers, and it was amazing. What Shay said about the role-playing, even though I didn't know these people, we just instantly fell into, we'd been roommates forever. This game just kind of brought us together in this communal story that was being told. We absolutely loved it. And so I wanted to play it with Jen, finally played it. I only had a few hours before the R&R show went live, and I said, honey, can we play this a little? Just play one quick game. It's like a 15, 20-minute game. And we sat and played back-to-back 3 games of it. Boom, boom, boom. And Jen would have kept going. He was like, I have to stop playing this now. I have to go live in an hour. Well, I don't have time for this anymore. So we both think it's really, really clever. And the longer you play, the more cool stuff you unlock as well. Because it's not a, what would you call it? It's not a competitive game or a legacy game, but it is a game that does have a storyline that will work its way through a lot of stuff, and you'll unlock more and more as you go. And I absolutely adore it. I like the presentation, I like the story that is told, I like the unlocks, and if you're worried that, hey, but are there only a finite number of things you get to do before you've used up all the stuff? The developers are working on digital apps that will make randomly generated missions, so you will have infinite replayability with the game, which is also very, very nice. And I have nothing but the highest praise for this game. Number 7, Decorum. Okay, then let's move on to number 6, another paid Kickstarter preview. It is Oak. And this is such a pretty game. This one I got to play with Ruel at Dice Tower West, and then when I got back home, I played it with Jen. So I played at a high player count, I played at a low player count. It just works great. And the coolest thing about this worker placement game has to be the workers themselves, because you get to customize them as they level up. You can, put clothes on them, and that changes what their powers are when you send them out into the world. All these druids that are going into the area around the mystic tree, so that you can gather the resources you need to be at one with nature, and build sacred sites and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So I will not deny that the toy factor of this game is wonderful. It just feels good taking these regular, already neat-looking druid meeples you've got, but then adorning them with satchels and stuff is a lot of fun. But that's beside the point. The game is also a very fun worker placement game as well, with a lot of really cool ideas, because every worker either is available to us so that we can, on our main board, so we can send them out. That means they're active or they're passive. They're hanging out under the tree. And a lot of times, to be able to do an action, like harvest some resource or, make some kind of artifact or whatever, if that space is blocked, I can still go there, even if your worker blocks, but I have to take some of my other workers and basically retire them to be under the tree. So things get very expensive very, very quickly. But there are actions I can take to take all these retired druids under the tree and bring them back into my fold so I can actually use them as workers. But I need them under the tree because those ones who are semi-retired or at least not active, they're passive, they have functions too because I can have them go climb the tree, which triggers in-game progression and gives all kinds of passive income benefits. I can have them go pick resources from the forest, and that's the main way to get them is to have these workers not available to you so that when you pass at the end of the round, while everybody else is still working with their active workers, my passive workers start going out and automatically generating harvesting resources, finding them in the forest so that I'll be set up for the next round. I mean, that's a great idea that you very rarely see in games. The idea of, hey, the sooner I pass, the more passive automatic income I get, and it makes everybody else terrified. I've got to pass because you're getting all the good stuff and you're not leaving anything for me. And then everything I just described is driven by a very cool hand management card game because you can't just send the workers where you want. You've got a hand of cards that says where you can send them. And when you send them to different places, the card also says, well, these are the actions they could do in this space. And you will get access to better cards over the course of the game. And depending on how you build up your hand, you can get stronger and stronger. And then there's so many cool ideas. I love the way artifacts work. I love the way potions work. And I love the way housing works. If you want more workers, you have to build housing for them. There's a lot of really cool, very wonderfully implemented ideas. This is definitely a worker placement game that has a lot of additional layers. It goes far above and beyond what you normally see. And Jen and I really dug it. It's number 6 on the list. Oak. Then we've got number 5, Welcome to the Moon. And this is another one that I got to play at Dice Tower West, so I was just showing a picture. And if you're all familiar with Welcome to, which is a flip and write style game where every round there's a set of cards that are basically lead you to entwined drafting. I can take a card with a number and an icon, or a different pair of number icon, or a different number pair icon. The original Welcome to was basically set in French suburbia as we're trying to build out a model suburb home. The core gameplay is still available in Welcome to, but now we are traveling to the stars to save humanity. And the game comes with I don't know how many different missions, but each mission has its own completely unique roll and write or flip and write style board that everyone's playing on. The first one we played, because I played with a group of people, and we all thought, yeah, this is nice. If you like Welcome to, this is kind of a nice variation. But when we played the second one, which completely obliterated how we understood the Welcome to system and made us think about it in a completely new and different way, we were all flabbergasted and could not wait to keep playing this to see how else are they going to completely reinvent the wheel. Welcome to is already brilliant. I have Welcome to, but I now have Welcome to the Moon, and I don't think I'm going to keep holding on to Welcome to because Welcome to the Moon offers so much more. Plus, I'll be honest, I really love the the spacefaring theme and all of that. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I must try all the other missions, and I cannot wait to play it with Jen because I know she already loves Welcome to, and oh man, her mind is going to be, I just can't wait to watch her mind be blown the way mine was when we get to that second mission. If you do, folks, I do have to warn you though, if you do pick up Welcome to the Moon, the first mission has some really horrifically, some of the most poorly written rules I've ever seen, specifically related to the first mission, that make it almost impossible to understand how to correctly play the first mission. So if you get this game, either skip the first mission or go download the FAQ from the publisher. Because then you'll know how to actually play the first mission. But oh my God, once you get to that second mission, it's gloves off. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's absolutely amazing. Welcome to the Moon. Okay. Whoa, we're in the final stretch now, folks. Let's move on to number 4. Wind the Film, another game from Dice Tower West. And I have to give a huge shout out to Jin, a fan of the show and a friend of Ruel Gaviola, and I assume a fan of Ruel's also, who brought 2 copies of the game. And he wanted to play this with me because I totally missed this game. It was it's an older card game from Sashi and Sashi. And I really like their quirky offbeat designs, but somehow I just missed this one at the time. And he brought it because he thought I'd like it. And he was right. We were halfway through our first game. I played 2 games with him and his girlfriend. And at the halfway through the game, I was like, oh my God, I must get this game. This is absolutely incredible. And he said, I got you covered. Like I said, he brought 2 copies. He brought one to play with me, and then he brought one to give as a gift. So I brought it home, and thank you so much, Jen. Jen and I, this is a picture of us playing it in our hotel room, the next morning when normally Jen has no time to play games. So I said, honey, you're going to love this, and she did love it. I guess I should say, why do we love it so much? This game is a straight building card game where you have to build straights of 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing, and you're trying to grab cards in a very cool and very original draft, where you don't always know what cards you're going to get because some of them are face down. You just know what range of number they have. So the draft is already really cool. But the most important thing about this game is your hand. This has the bonanza effect of not being able to rearrange the cards in your hand. So the cards go in on one side, they come out on the other, and everything is about trying to manipulate that so you can play the correct cards in the correct order so you can get those high-scoring straights. It's an incredibly clever game, incredibly tension-filled. I absolutely adore it. I will never get rid of it. Again, I just cannot say thank you to Jen enough. He was so right. It's my number 4 of the month. Wind the film. Okay. And now, if we move on to number... I don't understand. Folks, I have to stop for a second. Right. What did I just say? Okay, I have to put a note. What did I say? Well, if we move on to number. All right, so I need to write that down because I don't want to forget what I said because I stopped in the middle of a sentence. That was dumb. We move on to number ellipse, ... My number 3. Remember I said, so far, 1, this is working great. I've had no technical problems with with having a million tabs open. I was really afraid it would just kill my computer, but it seems to be working great. Here's the problem. I don't have a tab open for number 3. I screwed up, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So I quickly have to fix that. And by the way, what the heck happened? Why did the fight music start playing? Does anybody have any idea? That totally freaked me out. I'm sure, people will say, wow, Rahdo really got flummoxed there for a second. It was like, 2 people were dueling. Oh, man. Well, halfway through the fight, I was like, okay, I can't focus. And I literally muted it. I thought there was just some bug. I totally forgot that I had set it up so it plays the music while people mute. I have unmuted it, so people, feel free to duel. Totally feel free to duel. I will just suck it up and, instead of muting it, I could have just gone. I just thought it was broken and it was never going to stop. And I'm like, oh no, the audience must be going nuts. I got to kill this. So don't worry. In the future, if I hear random fight music in the middle of a thing and it's freaking me out, I will just adjust my own local volume rather than mute the whole thing because I thought it was a bug. That is awesome. Who won the duel, I suppose, is the important thing. And don't apologize, Kabuki Kid. That's awesome. If I'd known that's what was happening, it would have made me so happy. Like I said, I was just nervous because I thought it was a bug. Because I looked in the corner of my eye and saw, oh, there's no plane. Everybody's not fighting. Oh, it must be a bug. Okay, do I just leave this alone? I mean, I can probably get through it, but it's probably really annoying for everybody. Okay, I'll just kill the sound. But and so I denied you your victory music. I apologize. Won't happen again. Forrest, I imagine I could have seen the duel too. But I mean, you have to understand. I am looking at the scene in a tiny little window that's about the size of an iPhone 4 screen. So you are all just super tiny little ants walking around, and probably the duel was happening behind whatever words were on screen. So I mean, to me, it just looked. I mean, I just couldn't see it at all. But no, that's awesome. By all means, duel away. Now that I know that could be what it is, it will not faze me at all. I'll just smile inside, and I'll look forward to seeing who won afterwards. Okay, but anyway, I've still got to get why do I not have a third? All right, intro. How did this happen? That's ridiculous, but I will fix it now. I will get it queued up. All right, it's Founders of Teotihuacan, by the way. All right, which just went live this morning. So let's go on ahead and get that queued up. All right. I could have sworn. I mean, I know I'm really goof prone in general. I'm sure people have noticed that in my videos, but I am generally pretty good on just rote. Okay, get all your ducks in a row. I'm an incredible data entry guy. I used to do that in college, working for Aldous back in the day. But anyway, okay, so it's queued up. I've got my number 3. And let's see, is my number 2 and my number 1 there? Yes, they're there. All right. So, okay. You can go away. You are queued up. Right. Wind the film is no longer the thing. Boy, I am so thirsty. Here's the problem with this. This is about half as much water as I'm used to having. So I am thirsty. Tell you what, folks, I'm just going to go fill that water bottle up really quick. I'll put you on hold. I'll be right back. I promise. Time me. I should be less than 30 seconds. And starting now. Did I make it? I could have counted in my head, but it didn't occur to me to. All right. Okay. It looks like some people are wanting to duel. All righty. And there is money involved. You have to actually, and the other person, I believe, has to accept the duel. And the other person has to have enough money to actually pony up. Oh. What an odd one we've had today, huh, folks? We're almost done. Okay, I will let you get back to your dueling. And there you go. Okay, hold on a second. Let's go on ahead then. And, let's see. Shoot. Save. Right, so, don't want to obscure. There we go. Yeah, let's go for it. I have to make the screen bigger so I can see what's actually happening. Who is it? Oh. It's a battle of giants! Oh, wait, no, Goblin isn't in Biggin. Normally you are. So it's a David and Goliath situation with a critical from Goblin and a miss from the Goliath from Duck of Death. But Duck of Death dodges! This is so cool. I love how everybody just gets out of the way. It is too bad that if you do it, that me having that text on screen, and then just cut you down. It is a shame because I guess they always probably try to arrange themselves in the center of the screen, right where I've got the text saying what game I'm talking about. So that's kind of unfortunate. But good job. Woohoo indeed, Duck of Death. You have truly lived up to your namesake today. Uh-oh. Are we having more now? Do I just need to sit here and let you folks... let's see. Wes Lloyd just tried to duel. It looks like... you know what? I bet you it probably does have a cooldown. There's cooldowns for everything on this system. So that's probably what it is. Although it's a shame that it doesn't warn you about that. But anyway, I got to get back to work. You folks are going to be the death of me. All right, so... Let's see here. All right. Well, go ahead. Have your fun. Be home in time for dinner, kids. Let's see here. I cannot do it as well as Jim Carrey did in the Cable Guy. Of course. Oh, I see, Kabuki, you've gotten your star power back. I think when I was trying to find why the the avatars weren't dancing, one of the things I said to do is clear your cache. And I think when I cleared the cache, it cleared the invisible leaderboard that says, oh, Kabuki, cut down by Denoga. Who's collected the most stars and who's given out the most hugs. So you have to earn those stars. I don't know. Considering the fact that you always monopolize that thing, I might reset that every week now that I know it's there, just to make you not be permanently superstardom. Since you are the best at the 45-second delay that it requires to be able to successfully jump. Okay, anyway though. So... yeah. It helps you find yourself. Is that, like a deep spiritual thing you're saying? It helps you one with the universe? Well, tell you what, you don't have all the stars today. Everybody has stars. Stars for everybody. Everybody jump now. There we go. That'll keep you busy for a second. Except you're all stuck. Okay, there you go. And I'm Detray just subscribed. Thank you, I'm Detray. I'm glad to hear the tray is in the house. It is good that we have the tray present. Oh, look at Kabuki using her slingshot tricks to catch a whole bunch of them while the noobs are just typing in exclamation point jump. Of course she knows all the tricks. She's never going to lose those stars ever again. But anyway, okay. I need to get back to it, Pruitt. So let me get back all my stuff on screen now that I've got number 3. And it's a good thing I wrote down because I do not remember what I just said. I said, now we move on to numbers. Okay. And we're moving on to number 3. So I have to say, but first of all, I have to put the other thing back on the screen that was on screen. So to people who watch this years from now, they'll never know. It'll be a perfect cut. They'll never know the silly hijinks we all got up to behind the screen. Okay, wind the film. Is number 4. So we move on to number. So I just have to say 3. Founders Table 1. Okay, so let's get back to it. Back to the small window so I can't see what you're doing. So I can see all the other stuff. I can keep track of. It's literally. I feel like I'm sitting down at a 747. There are so many menus. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different elements I am keeping track of while doing all of this. It's actually quite silly. All right, so we move on to number 3. Okay. Gotta go back to the browser view. Okay. Shoot. But I need to have the other one up. Right. Because we need to still have that image. So, I didn't think of that. All right. Can we reopen close tab? But that's me trying to get to, all right, was it this one? Okay, it was this one, wasn't it? It was this. And if I go back, well, I get, there it is. All right, there it is, wind film. Okay, so the picture will be the same. And I'll say, right, okay. All caught up now, I think. So, where's the, right, is it here? Yes, it is. 3 founders of Teotihuacan, which, folks, I do not know what's going on here. First, I was about to give a spoiler for something that's coming. Okay, let me rewind that a little bit. Folks, there's a trend that's happening. We've got Founders of Teotihuacan, which is a sequel of sorts to Teotihuacan, which is certainly one of the cooler, big, huge, epic Euro-style board games that have come out over the last 5 years. It's set in the Mayan culture as you're doing this kind of dice rondelle thing, and it's a big, heavy game with a lot of moving parts. Here comes the sequel, Founders of Teotihuacan, which takes the same setting and some of the same ideas, most notably building a pyramid at the center. But now everybody's got their own pyramid they're building instead of building kind of a communal one on the main board. And the dice rondelle worker placement thing has been replaced with worker placement tile drafting for polyomino Tetris pieces. So it's a very different game. Same setting, same kind of feel of the world, but such a hugely different game. And I love it. And here's the deal, folks. So the trend I just said is maybe starting. I love it better than the original. Teotihuacan is a brilliant game, made even better with some of its expansions. But if you put both of them down in front of me, I'd want to play Founders of Teotihuacan 6 Ways to Sunday. It is a wonderful tile-laying game, very fast, very deep. And what really makes it stand out from the huge assortment, over the last few years, we've gotten such a big cavalcade of polyomino tile laying style games. And polyomino, folks, when I say that, I really mean like Tetris pieces, right? Those are polyominoes. What makes this different is the board I can place these on serves 2 functions. There's really 3. There's where I place the tiles, and I'm trying to, jigsaw puzzle them together to make most use of space. But when I put down good producing tiles, I surround them with all the goods they produce in the form of cubes for gold and lumber and stone. And so I have this tough thing. I want to get everything squeezed in really tight to get maximum use of space. But I need to keep everything really far away from each other so I've got enough room for all the goods I need, which are what I spend to be able to build more stuff. And this is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's this extra twist that takes this so far above and beyond. And it's obviously it's my number 3 game of the month. And there have been an amazing cavalcade of games that I've played. But Founders of Teotihuacan, like I said, I'm already predisposed to. I mean, I loved its predecessor, so I had a warmth for the game when we sat down. But then when I saw how it actually worked, and also not for nothing, when I saw how the worker placement worked too, because this game isn't content just to reinvent tile laying Tetris pieces. It also reinvents worker placement, because the worker placement spots, if I go to a spot, it's not blocked. Other players can go there. And what happens is, if I go there, if I'm the first to go there, I get to do a level 2 action, because there's already a bonus tile. I do a really weak action, but I get the benefit of the bonus tile that I placed my worker on. And then I do the main action. And now I've taken that bonus away. So other players can go there, but why would they want to go there if I've already gotten the bonus? Because when somebody else goes there and places their worker disc on top of mine, they use both of our discs. And so suddenly they get to do a higher level action. But then I could come along later and say, you know what? I'm going to put another worker on that same space, and now I'm going to use 3 of those workers. So you get this compounding action thing that is really cool. But it's also an area control thing, because once 3 people have visited a space, it's locked out. Nobody else can go. So you want to wait for other people to take those early steps so that you can get in and do the super move at the end, unless somebody else beats you to it. But you also want to be the first player to take the step so you can get those really cool bonuses. It's neat. Very, very good. Highly recommended. Again, no surprise. It's my number 3 of the month. Founders of Teotihuacan. Okay. But then let's move on to an even better game. Number 2, the Isle of Cats Explore and Draw. And this is the other game that's in this new trend that I'm talking about, where the simpler, lighter, more streamlined sequel to a previously available big, ambitious game comes along and makes me fall in love with it so much that I'd rather play the sequel than the original. Isle of Cats is an incredible, an absolutely awesome polyomino Tetris tile laying game that's fused with card drafting, very, very reminiscent of Bunny Kingdom, or Seven Wonders, or Sushi Go, and it works great. It was probably my highest or second highest ranked polyomino tile laying game of all time. It was so good. They were so deep and so rich, so much stuff going on. Although you could also turn a lot of those modules off and turn it into a very, very family-friendly introductory game too. Very impressive design. But then Frank West, the designer, goes and revisits it and turns it into a roll and write. Or, well, I guess a flip and write, because there's a bunch of cards out. We're drafting the cards, doing entwined drafting, not dissimilar from Welcome to, and but still with the goal of filling up our ships full of cats. It used to be we actually had real cardboard tokens that represented the cats that we were trying to squeeze onto our ship. Now we actually write them with colored pens, and oh my gosh, Isle of Cats is amazing. Isle of Cats Explore and Draw is even better, for a bunch of reasons. And actually, if you want to know why, you don't have to take my word for it. Go check out my run-through that I filmed with Ruel Gaviola, my co-host from the R&R show. We had a great time going up against each other, but also going up against you, because this is a bingo-style game. Every round, everybody gets access to the same stuff. So if you go to my run-through for Isle of Cats Explore and Draw, check out the show notes. There will be a link you can follow that will let you print out a black and white version of the board. And then you can play along with us and see if you can beat our scores. And you will see for yourself why this might be the best polyomino tile layer there is on the market. At least until Unknown Planet comes out, because oh my gosh, that's good too. But anyway, that's in the future. A little bonus game to mention on the monthly roundup. Isle of Cats Explore and Draw is just the best. Everything I loved about the original one, and most notably, the incredibly intricate polyomino pieces. These are not simple Tetris pieces. These are not L's and S's and O's and, what's the other one? The straightaway, the line, I's, I guess. These are incredibly complex things that are, that are almost as tough to get to fit together as a real 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. So it's so much more satisfying to make all these things work and plug the holes that you end up creating, and try to fill your ship with as many cats as you can to save them from encroaching pirates. Love it to pieces. My number 2 game of the month, and that's saying something, folks. Isle of Cats Explore and Draw. And the reason it's saying something is because I said right up front, right after Shay's bit, that we were not done talking about some of the games he talked about. I talked a bit about Decorum. It's time to talk about my number 1 game of the month, Ark Nova. Any other year, this could be my game of the year, quite frankly. And I don't know if it's my number 2 or my number 3 of the year. I will be doing in April or May a revisit of my top 10 of the year 2021. Ark Nova's in the top 3. And for all the reasons Shay talked about, you can just go back and watch what he said. I don't really want to repeat it. All I will say is he says maybe it's better than Terraforming Mars. No maybe about it. This thing, as far as I'm concerned, destroys Terraforming Mars because what he talked about, this brilliant system of action selection, which was borrowed from an older Civilization game. I think it was Civilization New Dawn, although it existed in a game even earlier than that. I have not played those, but it works so well here. And actually, it's interesting. When I played this with Shay at Dice Tower West, we sat down and played it, an epic two-player between me and him, and he was talking about New Dawn and how he thought this was better. This took the ideas from New Dawn and improved on them as well. And but anyway, it's so wonderful and satisfying. It's a big epic beast of the game, and there's so many things I could talk about that I love about it. I think probably the most important thing for me, if I had to pick one thing, as much as it's about that action selection and how satisfying it is to build the habitats for the animals and the card combos and everything else, the thing I love more than anything else about the game is actually the story it tells. Because this is not just about building a zoo. There are 2 tracks that you are there's actually 3 tracks you're monitoring your progress on, but the 2 important ones for end of game and scoring are your income, the attraction of your zoo. Get more cool exotic animals that will just bring people through the front door so you can make money. But the reason you make money is not just to score points. Money is not points. You can funnel that money into conservancy projects. And a big portion of the game, and that's the second meter you track yourself on, is how much have you given back to these animals? How many animals have you released to the wild? How many scientific studies have you sponsored to ensure that the animals who are in the wild will actually have a brighter future? And at the same time that you are making habitats that are really comfortable so the animals can have fulfilling lives, and not be shortchanged. Not like the zoos that I went to when I was a kid in the 70s, and it was just all the animals just put into concrete pits with some old used tires for them to play with. We were making beautiful spaces for these animals to have rich lives, and the money we make on them means we can actually save animals in the wild. That's the crux of this story. This is a science-led game. That it is all about the science of animal protection and animal rights that this game really puts first and foremost. That's where you get the majority of your points, not making money. Money is just a means to an end, and the end is saving animals and making their lives better. And I could talk forever about how great the gameplay is and how smart the action selection and the objective system is brilliant. When somebody does an objective, you create objectives suddenly for everybody else. So many cool ideas. Now, the reason it isn't my number one game, and I already know it's not my number one game, is there are a couple of problems. Shay kind of brushed past them, but the game is long. There's no 2 ways about it. The developers say, we can play a 4-player game in an hour and 90 minutes. Yeah, sure. I suppose once I played this game 100 times, I might get that fast. But as we were playing it, I played this game several times at Dice Tower West with a whole bunch of people. Mike Fitzgerald, one of the OG card game designers of the industry, Baseball Highlights, Wyatt Earp, he walked by and said, you enjoying it? Yeah, we played a game the other night. It was our fastest yet. 4 players. We got it done in 4 hours. And I think that was a pretty common thing. For people I was playing with who were familiar with it, it's kind of assume an hour per player. And that is long. And that is hard. And the only thing keeping this game from the upper stratosphere for me is some kind of Terraforming Mars Prelude-esque expansion that lets you supercharge the game and get to the finish line faster. When Jen and I got home and we played it, our first game took us over 3 hours. Now, that's because we were jet lagged and we were super tired and we shouldn't have been playing it. And we loved every second of it. Don't get me wrong. I would not begrudge them if they decided never to change it because every second of this game is brilliant. I just want to be able to play it more. And the shorter it is, the more I can play it. Who knows? Maybe like the previous 2 games, in a couple of years, we'll be getting Ark Nova, the sequel, that is a brilliant game that I love even more than the previous. But for now, it is pretty close to heavy, crunchy, thematic Euro perfection. My number one game of the month, and Shay's as well, Ark Nova. And that's it, folks. We are Dunsville. Hoorah! That was a whole bunch of games. And I am exhausted, but there's no rest for the weary because it's April. It's time for me to keep on making new games. And by the way, folks, I probably should have led with this, but I'll end with this instead. As of April of this year, 2022, I will have done 10 years of Rahdo Run Through. It is my 10th anniversary. And if you're asking, well, what are you going to do? Nothing. I'm really not that big on anniversaries. Ask me, sometimes you ever meet me and Jen in real life, or you ever meet Jen in real life, ask her, what did we do for our 30th wedding anniversary? The answer will not impress you. But I just wanted to mention that. And I want to say thank you to everybody. I mean, some of you watching this have probably been with me from day one, 10 years ago, when I picked up the camera and decided to shoot Helvetia of all things for some reason. There's been a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and I'm more excited now about the channel than ever before as new voices are showing up. As, Shay is fantastic. Ryan does the best rules run-throughs ever. Ruel, it's the high point of my week, every week, to sit down and talk to Ruel about games for 2 hours. It's a lot of stress in the lead-up because of all this live streaming, but I just love hanging out with Ruel, and he's just such a warm, wonderful person and brings such a great perspective to games. I love having him on the channel. Professor Kimberly Tolson is absolutely amazing. You just wait in April. This is going to be her month. She is going to explode, and you're all going to just wonder, why are we even watching Rahdo? Can Kim do more videos? And if all goes to plan, we're going to have some more new contributors appearing on the channel for the first time, and I'm maybe the most excited about them yet. I have been a fan of this other channel. I will not say if it's a he or she. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll just say this other channel, they are fantastic, and I am so excited, and you'll be seeing them coming soon as well to celebrate the 10th anniversary, and that's it. Folks, I guess in closing, one more thing, though, to make it a bit less about me and a bit more about the rest of the world and, getting together as gamers and helping out. One more time. If you go to, http://jv.rahdo.com, you can still bid on the last 4 of Jen's Ukrainian Witwat, and those will go to a very, very worthy goal. Oh, and while we're talking about another very worthy goal right now, if you don't watch it, the R&R show is a weekly show that Ruel and I do. Every Tuesday we stream it, and then it gets on YouTube every Wednesday, where we just do a top 10. The top 10 we did this week was upcoming Kickstarters, crowdfunding games, and if you haven't yet, could you just go watch the first 5 minutes of that one? Because Ruel and I talked about a fundraising campaign that is very near and dear to our hearts. And if you're the type of gamer who has ever said to yourself, boy, how can I spread the gospel of board games? How can I, open up more eyes? This is your opportunity to do it. There's a link for it down in the show notes. You can hit that eye on the top right corner screen. Just watch the first 5 minutes of episode 34 of the R&R show. And if you're going to back anything on board game related in the month of April, please consider the one that Ruel and I talked about at the beginning of the show. And that's it, folks. Oh my goodness. I got to get to work. There is no rest, and there's plenty more games that are coming. If you want to know what games I'm covering, and me and others are covering, hit that eye in the top right corner screen. Go to comingsoon.rahdo.com, and you'll be able to plan accordingly. But, folks, I am Dunsville. So I want to say thank you for watching this, and thank you for everybody who's been with me all the way through. It's been 10 crazy years, and I've learned a lot. And also, of course, in closing, thanks to the sponsor of the show, Fun Again Games. Have a very, very nice day, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye. Oopsie! I hit the wrong sponsor. I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing and fix that. Floodgate did not sponsor this Fun Again Games. Oh, boy. I'm exhausted. Fortunately, I refilled on water. Hey, how's everybody doing? You still with me? Free ad for Floodgate for you, Jack. But, nope, I will fix that. Because I've got to edit out those mid things anyway, so it'll be easy to just, kind of shift over the transition. It'll be fine. Silly me. Okay, so I said right up front, folks, that if you had any questions to, ask them in the form of a question where your question mark was at the beginning instead of the end of the chat. So let's see if you did. Okay. Here we go. Okay, well, first of all, here's the thing. Okay, it is working. This hasn't always worked, but in case you didn't know, the longer you watch the show, the more channel points you earn. You can do all kinds of stuff with the channel points. You can hit that little cursive R at the bottom of the chat to see what you can do. One of them is you can highlight your messages so they appear. And it's supposed to be those highlighting those messages makes them appear in my little program, and it looks like they did. So at some point, Wesseloid wanted to point out, FYI, Wine the Film is obtainable in the West under the title Photo. I did not know that. Oopsie. Crap. Why didn't I know that? I should have said that in the video. God dang it. Do I have the strength of character to record myself fixing that? I really should have. Maybe I will. Okay, but thank you, Wessel. I had no idea. I did not know it had gotten a reprint and a rename. Did anything change about the game, or is it pretty much the same? Let's see. What else? Boop-de-boop. Oh, you can spend your Rahdo points to get an avatar. Yeah. The longer you watch the show, the more points you get. Mostly, you use those points to unlock segments of the R&R show where Will and I will do Royale ranks or we'll do arguments and all kinds of stuff. But if you save up enough points, you can get yourself an avatar, but it'll only be for the length of that episode. So, spend them early and enjoy it for that episode because the next episode, that's a temporary thing. Okay, and then let's see. Also, it would appear... Oh, Wesseloid, yeah, I saw this, talking about the Jack Vassal. Obviously, thank you for reminding me. I might have forgotten otherwise, so that was very handy. Now, let's see. Were there any questions? A few. Let's get going. Boom. Wesseloid wonders, do I have any opinions about the new Geek List item and comment formats? I'm glad that they work on phones. I don't know. Let's see. I haven't looked at it that much. It seems like the comments don't appear until you expand, right? Is that the main thing? Did they used to appear? Or it used to be like just the two most recent comments would appear and then you could expand, but now no comments appear? That's unfortunate. I remember years ago when all comments existed at all times. And Aldi, or the people of Board Game Geek, ultimately had to shut that down because it was literally going to destroy the site because the database queries were just too overloading every time anybody went to a busy a busy geek list. So they had to shut that down. And so they changed to only the two most recent ones appear. And I can only assume that their aging architecture still probably couldn't handle that. And that's why, hey, we're in the middle of a redesign. So how about we just fix it so comments don't appear unless you expand? That is the case now, right? You know how I could find that out. I've got an easy way to do that. Let's go back to the browser. Oh, except I closed the browser because I'm a dummy. Let's open up a new browser. New tab. Make it a standalone browser and point to that Oh, I need to get something. Oh, to go to jv.rahdo.com. Let's see here. And then point you to Chrome. Where is it? Why is it not going? Okay, just fine. Do something. What are all these things? No, not that. Oh, here's my command panel, by the way, folks. You can see you're all in a tiny window. There's a slightly bigger window, but that's delayed. And obviously there's all the other stuff I'm tracking. Now, did that make Chrome? Here we go. The Jack Vassal Memorial Fund. Alrighty. So that's the thing. It used to be, I can see there's 10 comments, and apparently there's a new one. But you don't see anything unless you actually expand it. And that is unfortunate. And look. Duck of Death 5. Oh, I'm sorry. I just outed you as being a very generous and kind person. You just, well done, sir. I think that this is going to run for a couple more days. Oh, I'm sorry, Duck of Death. I don't know. I didn't. Oopsie. You've beaten Dan Halligan, the designer of Obsession, which is a very cool board game. But I'm sure you will be outbid. These things tend to go crazy on the final day. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it is kind of unfortunate that it's kind of nice. It's clean. You're just scrolling along and you can see, oh, look. And they've done what they can to make it obvious. Look, there's things to see because they're putting these little summaries of, of people's icons and whatnot. But it is unfortunate. It would be much better if they were there. And because that's going to draw your eye more than seeing a few little icons and whatnot. And I would bet anything that they wanted to do it, but they decided not to do it because I remember them talking about this, back in the day. By the way, is all this on screen? Yes, it is. Back in the day, the geek lists were were creating so much overload on their servers that they just couldn't keep up. So I'm sure that's why it had to go this way. And it's too bad, but nothing's perfect. But the important thing is, it's something like over 60% of people watch my videos on mobile. I don't even know what the numbers. It's probably even higher for Board Game Geek. So it's probably, you take the good with the bad. You take it all and there you have the facts of life, don't you? All right, any more questions have come in? Boop. All righty. Boop. All righty. Really, says Jack. I like Explore and Draw better than the original. Have I played? Now, to be fair, To answer your question, no, I have not. I have all the expansions, and I would like to try all of them. And I'm sure they're all great. And I'm sure they probably combined, but I already rated Isle of Cats so high. And I don't know, if it wasn't all the way at the end of this incredibly exhausting process I just went through, I probably could have spent more time talking and comparing and contrasting why I like it better. But I'll be honest, I like it better just because it's faster. It's easier to set up and put away. There's less work. It's just all about the polyominoes. The coolest thing about Isle of Cats is those freaking cats and the treasures, those weird, crazy shapes. And with Explore and Draw, it's 100% about that. With regular Isle of Cats, it's also about the draft, and it's also about collecting cages, and it's also about getting money, and there's all these other things, and they're all great. But still, when I play Isle of Cats, my favorite thing about Isle of Cats is the really awesome Tetris pieces. So I think more than anything else, that's why Explore and Draw works better for me. Because even if you play Isle of Cats, the simple version, the family rules, which I did play with my mother-in-law, who loves cats, and it worked really well. I mean, Isle of Cats is even still more about just the cats. And honestly, the entwined drafting is much more compelling than Seven Wonders Sushi Go style drafting. There's no choice about it. Seven Wonders Sushi, whatever that's called, closed hand drafting or something like that, that's fun. That's great. There's many games I love that do it. But the entwined drafting is so much, and I guess some people would argue, oh, it's not drafting because it's bingo. Everybody can get whatever they want. Yeah, I suppose. To me, that's splitting hairs. It still feels like I'm still making the same decisions. Oh, I've got all these choices. Yeah, in the decision space of which cards am I going to take? When am I going to use a power that lets me break those rules and take 4 from a row instead of 3 from a column and all that stuff? Yeah, I find the drafting superior. I find the enhanced focus on the tiles themselves superior. That's why it comes in higher for me. Why MMV though? Okay, what else we got here? Any plans for visiting the Alaboom again? No stress if you can't. Just a conversation. Honestly, at this point, I think that's a chapter that's kind of closed for me, much like many other folks. And I still watch. And honestly, I enjoy it more because I can watch it at 2.5x speed. And also, I don't have to spend 2 hours playing a trivia game that I'm just not interested in playing. I mean, Lance has talked to me about it. I know he'd love to have me back. Maybe you never say never. I could pull a Sean Connery and literally star in a movie called Never Say Never and show up again someday. But another thing, really, between you and me, honestly, Jen was kind of getting jealous of my every Wednesday night, me being gone for like 3 hours, and it's just like, can't you spend time with me in the evenings? And I'm like, well, and she knew, of course, got 6 other nights, but it was just kind of there was just tensions and whatnot. And and honestly, I never, with full well, Kabuki Kid, I always hated doing all of that trivia stuff. I mean, I just couldn't stand it. And even still, when they start doing it, and they do it every week now for like, what, an hour? I just start jumping until I can skip past all that and just get back to the talk. So, yeah, never say never, but I honestly, I just don't have the time. And it is nice to be able to watch everybody at the speed they were meant to speak at, 2.5x speed faster. Okay. What else have we got? Okay, Goblin says, she's an English nerd. Where does she fall on mechanisms versus mechanics? Who is she? Oh, Kim. That's a good point. I bet you anything she says mechanics. Although here's the deal. Strictly speaking, if you want to English nerd out, mechanics is correct. Mechanics as a plural can refer to the singular mechanic, somebody who repairs machines, and it can also refer to the plural of mechanism. It is acceptable to have mechanics as a plural for either. It's really just this gameplay mechanic over here. And that is the one that just kind of sticks in my craw. Although, I'll be honest, when I was in the video game industry, I said it all the time too. It wasn't until somebody pointed out to me after I got knee-deep in board games that I realized, oh, yeah, that does sound weird now that you say it. I'm going to stop saying it. And then for a while, I crusaded about it until I realized this is the stupidest thing in the world to crusade about. There's so many more important things I could harp on about. So, but I bet you anything, she probably says mechanics. But again, mechanics is fine. The question is, does she say, well, this dice system is my favorite mechanic in the game? But again, if she's an English professor, she knows better than anybody. Language evolves, and you shouldn't be too precious about it. As long as your ideas get across, then language achieved, and you should let it grow and change. That's the beauty. It's why it's our most important invention as a species, and we shouldn't stifle it. That doesn't lead to anything good. So, boom. Okay, no more questions have shown up. Or at least nobody asked a question where they started their question with a question mark. So I think we are Gonzville. So it is time to pull up the radiometer 10,000 and let's see what there is to see. Okay. Oh, Becca. What is Becca Scott doing? I really feel like we should raid her. Oh, I should totally raid her because every time I ever see her, she's playing a video game. What is she playing? What is this? Is this Dinosaur World? No. Oh, she's playing the new Jurassic Park board game. Is it the Legacy one? I don't know. The Isla Neblar? I bet you it is. And she rated us last week, so it's time to return the favor. Everybody, man, if I could get Becca on the channel, that would be incredible. Oh, she would do such a great job. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Folks, let's go get her and tell Becca. She already knows I'm her biggest fan. So have a good time watching, probably, a new exclusive early look at a game. Very exciting. Raid! Purple button, go, 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 go. Alrighty. Did it work? Let's find out. Okay, it looks like it went through. Excellent. Okay. And she's so deep in the game, she didn't even notice. That's okay. She'll get there. Nope, she is really deep in the game. Okay, but that's okay. I don't do it for my glory. I do it for her glory, because she is awesome. Everybody enjoy the show. I've got some editing to do now. Oh, wait, there we go. All right, I gotta go. I think I'm actually gonna stay and watch. Alrighty. See you next month, everybody. Talk to you later. So long. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.